eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
What the hell is going on, everybody? Is it even your own party if you're not fashionably late? My apologies. Thank you all for being here. Plenty of you freaks in the chat hanging out. We did it, baby. We did it. We are at 40K. I mean, it's not the end goal, but it's a big achievement. It's somewhere that I didn't think I'd be at this point at all, actually. I think someone highlighted recently that in an older members video that I made, I said that if I hit 30K by the end of the year, I would be stoked. So to be at 40K in the middle of August, end of August, is absolutely wild. So big thanks to you guys for being here, always supporting the streams, the videos, sharing, hanging out in Discord, making this community literally one of the best on YouTube, if not the best. I would say the best, personally, but I'm probably a little bit biased. But seriously, though, you guys are honestly unreal. The generosity, the support as well. Like a lot of you guys are members. You would know that in my members only section, I kind of get a little bit more personal and a bit, bit deeper. And you guys are always super supportive of that as well. And that stuff really means a lot to me. It really does. So thank you guys. Thank you all for being here. I'm looking forward to a really fun stream today. Probably going to be a little bit of a longer one because I'm looking forward to just hanging out. We've got some clips and stuff to look at like a normal stream. But also, I'm down to have some interaction, and I've got a little game planned. It's been a while since we played a game on stream, but I think this one will be fun. We haven't played a game like this before, so I don't know exactly how it's going to go. But if it works, I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm going to try my best to make that happen. So we'll do that a little bit later. While the stream was set up, though, before we went live, we had Jojo Bro and Robert Matrano become a member. Probably not here anymore because it was a while ago, but thank you guys. Welcome. John Anthony with $20 says, way to go, Josh. Here's to the next 60K. Yes, sir. 100K next, baby. Absolutely. Thank you very much, John. And BPM has also become a member. Thank you very much, BPM. Let's get some love in the chat for the new weirdos and for you guys. Because like I said, none of this would be possible without an absolutely epic community. So I guess, look, I think first on the agenda, because we actually have the goodest girl sitting right here, she wasn't going to sleep through the party. She knows she likes to sleep, but when there's a party on, okay. Okay. She might not be sitting up because there's a party on. She may be sitting up because there are snacks. As you may have seen, I just dropped the lid. So I think it would be rude to not start the stream off with a little snack for the girl who was here on time, unlike me. There we go. Should we get fed today? Absolutely. Super chats or not, she deserves it. She's, I mean, I think since I actually set up the Suki cam, the channel's blown up. So I don't know if that's like a coincidence or if everyone's just here for Suki or if I should just fuck off and she can handle the show. I don't know. You guys let me know. No party hat for Suki. No party hat for Suki. I don't think it would stay on for very long. We could try, but I don't have one, and I don't think it would stay on for very long. She even runs away when I go to put a jumper on her, she runs away. So yeah, unfortunately not. Maybe at 100K, we'll see. If the hot tub stream happens for 100K, she will not be getting in because she's absolutely not a fan of water at all. Unfortunately, I wish she was. DeBall celebrating 1 month as a weirdo. Congratulations on 40K, Josh. Thank you very much. D, thank you. Appreciate your support for 1 month. Absolute legend. So, okay, we fed the dog. We've got a few formalities to get through first. We've fed the dog. I think the next thing we should do, this is actually a really special one. This is perfect timing, actually. Jed Bamwell in the chat. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here. $5 from the cookie says, congrats, man. That was quick. 40K. This channel is growing quickly. Thank you very much, sir. It is growing very quickly, and it's a little bit overwhelming, but I'm here for it. It's exciting. Now, this is not just, I mean, every ceremony we do is special, but this one in particular is very special. So I would ask you to take out your Bibles at home, please. Mine is not dusty, thankfully, because we actually had a new entry just the other day. Mine is not dusty. Yours may be. Blow it off if you need to. Open up to page 4. 10 out of 11 collected. Now, I don't actually know how many of these things there are, but if you don't know, if you're maybe new to the channel, these are the Wikipedia guidelines that sometimes appear underneath YouTube videos when maybe you're discussing some kind of sensitive content, or perhaps some content that, you know, that Big Brother wants to make sure you get the right story. Okay, they want you to get Big Brother's version of things. Well, actually, just the other day, I was lucky enough to achieve our very last entry, at least on our first pages here. And we unlocked the Illuminati. And that is 11 out of 11. On our 40K stream, we have finished the conspiracy decks. Now, I don't actually know if this is finished, like I said. In fact, I know of at least one more sticker that we don't have, but but I don't know. If we find more stickers, I'll make new pages for this and we'll keep going. But let's just do a quick recap while we're here, by the way. So these all happened in chronological order. The very first one I ever got was the alien abduction sticker. I can't quite remember where each of these were received on. The reptilian humanoid, I mean, that's got to be the one we have so many doubles off. You know, that's like your energy card when we're talking Pokemon cards. Reptilian humanoid on this channel, it's just like an energy card. There's shitloads of them all over the channel. Apollo program, that's when we did a deep dive into the moon landing being a hoax. Interdimensional UFO hypothesis, we've had that one a few times, talking about the fact that, you know, aliens might be interdimensional rather than physical beings. Now, climate change, that was a rogue one. That was one that, like, I don't even know how I got that. It just appeared underneath a video, but, you know, we take it. We take those. Search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. That was when we interviewed Ashton Forbes for the first time on the channel. That was expected. I sort of knew that one would probably be coming when that episode was happening. New World Order. Can't quite remember where we got that one, but definitely true. Definitely true. Area 51, I think we got that. Actually, Area 51 and the Dolce Base, I think we got both of those when we were when we did our little S4 series. We picked up both of those. Satanic Panic, that was only recently, deep diving into the fact that Baal worshippers run the entire world, which is just fantastic news. And Illuminati, which we picked up on the Bill Cooper video, on part 1 of the Bill Cooper series that we just did. So there we go. 11 out of 11, baby. We did it. We did it on 40K. How exciting. Like I said, if we add to this, I guess I'll keep it updated, but I'm just happy that we finished it off. I never thought it would happen, especially not this quickly. So there's that, which is exciting, of course, but what's really exciting, and if you're a member, you would already know and you've already had access to it, but as of right now, the Polarity merch store is actually live. Yep, I said I would have something prepared for 40K, and it is the merch store, and it's been a grind. It has been a grind, but we've done it. We've got a whole bunch of designs there. We got hats, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, which is a nice little place to start. The merch store is something that I'll continue to sort of develop and grow. But right now, we got some cool sort of basic little designs on there that you guys can go and check out. The members have already had their chance to tuck into that from yesterday, but it is now open to everyone. And my man Build on Sound has given you guys the link in the chat. So it is polarity-store.com. Nice and easy. So go get in there, get your merch, show everyone that you're an absolute freak, because that is what it's about. And as time goes on, yeah, we're going to add more designs in there, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So I'm looking forward to that. Enoch, welcome, sir. Thank you for becoming a member, you little weirdo. Make sure you check out the members-only content. Yep. Yes, that's right, Kat. Get your mug. So you guys, soon we're all going to be drinking out of our Polarity weirdo mugs, and it's just going to feel like we're all sitting down having a coffee together. It's going to be great. Michael Phillips says, congrats on 40K, Mad Dog. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. If anyone hasn't seen it, I was on Michael's channel the other day on Third Eye Drops, so go and give him a follow if you haven't already. Go and check that episode out. We had a really fun chat. I really enjoyed that. You edited it really nicely. It was awesome, man. I really enjoyed. I don't usually enjoy watching myself back, but that was a fun conversation. So thanks for having me, man. Junie Cortez with $20 says, first ever channel I'll ever purchase a membership to. You are the GOAT. I'm see you with the Nazis UFO Antarctica connection. Your mum's your dad. Okay. All right. You got kind of rogue at the end of that one, Junie, but I respect it, especially the Nazi UFO Antarctica connection. Yep. But my mum being my dad, I'm not sure. But hey, we've all got our own little conspiracies that we're into. And if that's yours, I totally respect it. Josh, you should interview Enoch. Who is that? Who is that? I'm going to write to Joe Rogan and get Josh on there. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Suki dressed as an alien plushie merch. Now that is an idea. That is the Labubu I want. Suki with a little alien outfit on. That would hang perfectly right here. Right here. If the Labubus or something similar come out with some kind of like alien design, it's 100% I'll spend hundreds. I don't care. It'll hang from right here and we'll have a cool little alien Labubu. That's what I need. If anyone can think of anything that would be cool like that, or there is one, let me know because I need it and I'm willing to spend money. ND, welcome, you little freak. Thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate your support. Let's get some love for ND in the chat. So today, the topics of the show that we're going to be looking at, aside from the games, which we'll do a little bit later, we're going to be looking at a little update on ThreeI Atlas. We're going to be looking at a little clip that came out about like Rendlesham Forest, some interesting stuff, and sort of a little update on my most recent video, which was about Lil Tony. Now, by the way, you would have noticed we've got the tinfoil cup here. It's been a while since the tinfoil cup has been up for grabs, but on today's show, the tinfoil cup will be up for grabs. And also, there'll be prizes. So I'm going to be giving out some discount codes for the merch store for the top 3. But again, I've never ran a game like the way this one is, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it works. Should be fun either way. Even if it's a catastrophe, it'll still be funny. More so for me, not for anyone else. As in, you'll be laughing at me. I won't be having fun. So glad you're talking about ThreeI Atlas. Yes, Angel, Danny, we have talked about it before. And I seem to have like an opinion on it that like not many people seem to have, which is sort of weird. I don't really kind of agree with the way things are heading, but we'll get to that a little bit later. The Lil Tony thing, we'll talk about that quickly. That should be somewhere down here. A lot of people on the Lil Tony video were having a bit of an aneurysm over the fact that he mumbles when he talks and that he is hard to understand. Now, personally, I mean, he wasn't easy to understand, but I also didn't have an issue with understanding what he was saying. However, if you're from like maybe a European country or something like that, I could understand why that would maybe be hard to hear because his accent is pretty like tough. However, I don't think that's a reason to like not listen to him or discredit him, especially when the story he's telling lines up with the same things that a lot of other people are talking about, which is why I decided to make a video on it. I thought it was worth documenting because a lot of people are telling us the same thing. A lot of people getting at like certain levels of Hollywood are telling us that once you reach a certain threshold, basically can't progress unless you get inducted in via some weird shit that's probably going to be filmed. Now, the whole filming part is just my assumption, but it makes sense, right? Like, you control someone through blackmail, and that seems to be the recurring theme that we see through all of this shit. That people are controlled because you can't have influence without being controlled by the people who already have control. I completely understand him, but I understand the Irish, so I can understand anyone. Yeah, to be honest, I mean, his accent is he's from Atlanta, I believe. And I do think the Atlanta accent, like when it's like thick and deep and like, I guess from that, you know, that sort of style, that gangster rap style, it is hard. It is hard. I do understand. But, you know, YouTube make captions for a reason. So just put your captions on and get on with it. Ken B says, Elizabeth April remote viewed ThreeI Atlas. She says it ain't no comet. I just don't know how I feel about that, actually. I know Elizabeth April is like a very big content creator and she's like a medium or something like that. I don't follow her, so I don't fully know like what her deal is. But I did see a video of her saying something like, she was basically giving into not giving in, but she was basically perpetuating the idea that ThreeI Atlas is some kind of, like alien spaceship, which I really don't like. It actually pisses me off a little bit, to be honest. Because you're just propagating fear in people. You're propagating fear, and I don't like that. If you're propagating fear in someone if you're propagating fear and you actually don't have evidence to back up what you're saying, why don't you just go be a fucking CNN anchor? Why don't you just go work for the BBC? Because that's exactly why I don't like mainstream news, because they talk shit and they just instill fear and anxiety in people through their gay stories. So that's why I like YouTube, because it's independent media and it's real people giving you real opinions. And okay, you could say that that's Elizabeth April's opinion, but if she's going to if she's going to speak in absolutes and say it's because she remote viewed it, I believe in remote viewing and I believe in ESP, but like, nah, don't use your ESP to start fucking scaring people, bro. I don't like that. And, I mean, we can talk about that, I think, maybe a little bit deeper when we look at the clips, which we will soon. I think let's just hang out for a little bit longer. Elizabeth April said it's not from evil aliens, just explorers. I mean, that's nice. Fair enough. But again, I just don't like it when people speak in absolutes at all, unless you have evidence. Bring evidence. And I know like you can't prove remote viewing, so it makes it difficult. But I think, I don't know. I don't watch enough of Elizabeth April to like comment with like a lot of conviction. But I did see she was one of the reasons why I said content creators have like are perpetuating the idea. It was one of her little reels that I saw, and I was like, damn, really? I didn't think you would do that. Not that I know you, not that I'm your dad. I'm not disappointed. But like, I just, because it's not just her. I'm surprised how many people are jumping on this bandwagon. I'm surprised how many people are jumping on this bandwagon of it being like, interstellar visitors and shit like that. And I'm surprised because of how many people have been saying there is going to be a lie. There is a false narrative around an alien invasion coming. Extraterrestrials are going to be the next threat that is used to propagate war after the Russians, after terrorism, after like third world countries, after communism. Like, extraterrestrial threat is going to be the next one. We've been told this for fucking ages. And now there's this story coming up in the media that could absolutely be the the gateway to that whole lie being, that whole false flag operation beginning. And even though we've been told this shit and everyone knows about it for a long time, people are still all of a sudden going like, oh my God, it's aliens. Like, no, bro, relax. People literally told you this would happen. Like, it could actually be aliens. I'm open to that. But the point is, like, until we actually know, until I actually see them in the sky, and I'm like, fuck, that kind of looks like an alien, then I might be like, okay, let's really start analyzing this. Like, is this a fucking hologram? What the hell is going on here? Because let's just remember, we've been here for a long ass time and no aliens have come yet. So, yes, ThreeI Atlas does look interesting, doing some weird things. It's also millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of light years away. So let's just chill the fuck out, I think. That's my advice. Do your own research, do what you like, but that's what I'm going to do. The cookie for $5 says, you think Atlas might be a plan from the government to fund more weapons? Yes, sir. I do. I do. Or it's a nice excuse for it, or yeah, I don't know. It could be completely fake. It could be the planned extraterrestrial threat to replace the communists, to replace the terrorists. You know, they were just going around the cycles to keep the military-industrial complex turning over and printing money, right? We have been told this for a long time. So I just think, given that, we owe it to ourselves to just relax, wait. You know, if 1,000 ships appear in the sky, then, even then, I would say, okay, that's kind of alarming for sure. But until you see something like horrific happen, until something comes and threatens you directly, don't let the news, don't let influencers with big platforms tell you to be scared. You have that decision. It's your life. Don't let the news tell you how to feel, because that's literally the problem with mainstream media, is they tell you things with a preconceived bias. And then you feel a certain way, therefore you align yourself with certain ideas. And the people who actually fund the news make money. So don't be retarded. Okay? Is that clear? It's simple. It really is simple. Anne McPherson chucked in $3. Didn't leave a note, but thank you, Anne. I appreciate you. You're always in here supporting. A weirdo as well. And Jay celebrating 3 months as a member. Amor was just a pro bro. Atlas is the mothership. We'll see. We will see. We will see. Beth says, yes, chill, say, take me to your leader, stay sovereign, remember to laugh a lot. Yep, that's what we do here. That's what we do here. Just relax, have a good time, have a laugh, and if the aliens actually come and show up, then we can start to panic. But even then, I would say relax, because they might be nice. You know, if the world is ran by Baal-worshipping, war-loving freaks, maybe they're the ones freaking out because the aliens are going to come and be like, hey, Baal-worshipping freaks, how about you just stop doing that? Stop enslaving the people on your planet. Stop trafficking children and sacrificing them to false idols. And how about you all just fuck off and enter a golden age and just relax, allow people to have free energy, let's end poverty, and just stop being blood-sucking vampires for once, please. How about that idea? Is that a good idea? Dee's put in $10 and says, congrats, Josh. Thank you very much, Dee. I appreciate you very much. Very generous of you. We could only hope for that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Who knows? That's why I think the elites are building bunkers, because they know they're fucked. They're building bunkers because they know they're the ones that are going to get their ass kicked. The people who have just been grinding away and born into this fucking slave system, we're the ones that are going to be liberated. They're the ones that are going to be hiding underground. And I'm here for it. I am here for it. All right. Let's get a wriggle on. Oh, by the way, guys, the reason why I was late is because you can't have a party without some decorations, right? I had to put up some decorations. So that's what we were doing here. So I hope you guys like the streamers and the balloons. You know what? We've had a few, oh, look, and here's another one. So look, before we do this, let's have a full screen crunch with the girl because, come here. Yeah. Up. We've had plenty of super chats. So I think she's due. She knows she's due. Look, she's pissed. Nicely. What a good girl. So gentle. So gentle. She is the best. Denise Boyd has put in $10 and says, I loved your channel. You speak your mind and I love it. I love your dog and purple lighting too. Also, have you watched the series on the History Channel, The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch? Not properly. I haven't properly, but I've seen little bits of it. And from what I have seen, it kind of reminded me of like Ghostbusters or like Mythbusters in a way. Like it was like that kind of vibe where it's just kind of like dudes walking around with like instruments at night, but they generally don't ever see anything. That's kind of the vibe that I got from it. But you know, I don't have the best attention span at the best of times. So yeah, it didn't really grip me in too much, unfortunately. Colleen Fremont says, hey, Josh, my family and I have had 11 combined UAP sightings over our house in Salem, NH. North, help me out. New Hampshire? That's not a state. What's NH? North. It is New Hampshire. It is. Is that a state? Is New Hampshire a state? Help me out here. I'm a little bit autistic with my geography. It is a state. What the hell? God damn. I apologize. Someone's saying New Hampshire isn't a state. Yeah, it is a state. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. Yeah, it's an emotional frequency. I understand. 4 of them were UAP dogfights. One was a huge circular as big as a shopping mall. That is crazy. Did you get any footage of the dogfights? Because that's wild. That is wild. I would love to see that. Thank you for your $10 as well, Colleen. I appreciate that. Very interesting story. Toxic Fart, $10, just says, just in case you want to buy Bill Tompkins a better rug or for whatever you need. I think Bill Tompkins is going to need more than $10 for a better rug, unfortunately, for him. But I appreciate you. Maybe we'll make a GoFundMe for him. And Rusty with $10 says, sorry I'm late. Hello, Suki. It's okay, Rusty. I'll forgive you. Just quietly grab a glass of water and go and take a seat, please. Air Force One. Exactly. Bill Tompkins was the Top Gun pilot for the Air Force One. Absolutely. With a pocket full of Werthers. Larissa Kellstrom gifted 5 memberships. You absolute freak. Queen freak. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Make sure you say thank you to Larissa if you were lucky enough to get a membership. And put some love in the chat because we've got a whole bunch of new weirdos here ready to rock. So with all of that being said, I feel like Suki deserves another snack. And by the way, for those of you who are concerned for my dog's health, which I know a lot of you are, these are single ingredient freeze-dried livers. So there's no other ingredients, no preservatives. They are just healthy, and she's obsessed. All right. I think we can get started with our content for the day. We're half an hour in. I think it's time to get going. So I thought we'd just look at a couple of updates on X first. Talk about it, and then I've got a little, I think 5 or maybe 10-minute video, which is like an update of, just kind of like a video update, basically. So let's take a look at this. This is a post on X, ThreeI Atlas. So these are basically the weird details that have happened lately. So this is a giant comet It's on a 1 in a billion path. Again, I don't know where those numbers come from, but I guess we just have to accept it. Reconnaissance by alien drones 6 months ago over everything nuclear. So I think what they're saying there is that, these orbs, these spheres, these little UAP anomalies seem to be very interested in nuclear capabilities, and they're often seen tracing the same pathways over nuclear power plants, military bases that house nuclear weapons, and things like that. The Smithsonian tunnels emptied for inspection. I don't really know what that means on a deeper level other than what it says. It sounds interesting though, especially the fact that the Smithsonian Institute basically seems to cover up everything. They inherently deny the G.E. Kincaid story of the Egyptian stuff found in the... They inherently deny the G.E. Kincaid story about the Egyptian hieroglyphics and things found in the Grand Canyon. But at the same time, it's open knowledge that that same section of the Grand Canyon not only is prohibited to walk in and fly over, but is literally named after Egyptian gods. So that's weird. The cookie says, don't forget the SR-71 was built in the 1950s. Thank you very much, sir, for reminding me. That is great daily homework for all freaks and weirdos. Apparently, some of our nuclear-armed subs have all gone out to sea. Sudden weird peace between Ukraine and Russia. Now, the things that are said here, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if the subs have gone out to sea. I don't know if Ukraine and Russia are in peace, how far do you take this shit, right? Because I could literally say, and I think probably almost everyone here in the chat could say, if we didn't watch the mainstream news, as far as I'm concerned, Russia and Ukraine could have never even had a war. I don't know. I don't know. Where do you draw the line at fake propaganda? The whole thing could be fake. I'm not saying it is. Relax. There's got to be at least one Dorito cheese fingered person in the chat that I've just upset then. I'm not saying the war in Ukraine is fake, but I'm saying there would be I wouldn't have a clue about it. I would have zero proof of it if I wasn't fed the story of it through mainstream news, who I don't trust. So, how far do we take that? Anyway, the elites have finished their $1 billion underground bunkers. Again, how do you know? Are you the project manager? Did they all happen to finish at the same time? Kind of a weird statement. Embargo on high resolution James Webb images. I mean, I feel like I sound like I'm just trying to disprove this whole thing wrong, but I do feel like there's a lot of just paintbrush statements being made here. That doesn't surprise me. NASA don't just take photos and release them. They fucking airbrush them. They're people have testified and said this for decades. This isn't new. This isn't new information. Congress and government now rushing to acknowledge the public they have evidence of aliens. And I guess this is some kind of weird picture of ThreeI Atlas. So the Congress and government now rushing to acknowledge to the public they have evidence of aliens. Do people agree with that statement? There definitely seems to be an uptick of people around ThreeI Atlas trying to say that it's aliens and say that we need $1 billion to study ThreeI Atlas. There's just no other way that we can figure out what this is without giving me $1 billion. So that seems weird. It's very convenient that this thing that you want to study is a hostile alien threat, and that if it is a hostile alien threat, you will also receive $1 billion. I just feel like there might be an ulterior motive there. I don't know. It's just me, but it feels like a conflict of interest. That might just be me though. Sammy Wright with £5 says, congrats on 40k, Josh. Such consistently awesome content, and you've created a fab community. Much love to you and all the weirdos. Fuss for Suki too. Yep. The goodest girl. Let's give her another one because it's 40k. And to be honest, I have broken the snacks up a little bit smaller. She can have all the snacks. And I want to give her, I really want to get a microphone. I think I've actually got a microphone that would work down there. So I need to remember that, to set that up. Yeah, a few people are agreeing Psy-Ops cost money. They certainly do. They certainly do. Maybe that's where the trillions of dollars that is just vanishes into thin air goes to. Maybe that's why they charge $7,000 for an ashtray on the SR-71. Kind of weird. Put a mic on her collar. That would be a good idea. Maybe I should get one of those like Rode wireless kits. I can have one, she can have one, and we can do a podcast together. Michael Frost with $8. Thank you very much, sir. Didn't leave a message, but I appreciate you very much. Tommy Bird laying down some facts. Either way, we can't do jack about 3i Atlas. Exactly. Exactly. This is what I'm saying, Tommy. This is what I'm saying, bro. Is like when you realize that like there are a lot of things in your life that you can't control. One of them being what other people say, and the other one being giant space rocks that could be alien ships heading towards the Earth. When you realize you can't control that, and that's okay, then you realize that, like, if you can let go of that, you now have control of your own life. Because if you're going to let big space rocks and the things other people say scare you or offend you, you can't move forward through life in a straight line. Like, you'll constantly be going like this because, like, I'm offended. There's an alien space rock coming. I'm offended. You said retard. Now I'm upset. Like, you will never go in a straight line. You're constantly being thrown back and forth by your own emotions because you don't have a handle on them. When you can just be relinquished of the burden of caring of what people say or things you can't control, you just move in a much, much faster straight line. You get from point A to B much quicker because you now have control of your own life and you're not scared of the words other people say. The alien space rock is a racist. If the alien space rock is like a racist transphobe, that's going to rock the world more than just a regular alien space rock, because now not only are people going to be scared, they're going to be offended. And there is a absolute zero probability that there will be toilet paper available in any supermarket. The toilet paper rolls are going to be ransacked. The Bluehead Defense Force is going to be assembling, and it's going to be an absolute catastrophe, unfortunately. Believe that Jesus Christ paid the once and for all sacrifice. He paid the price on the cross to redeem us from the wrath to come. He was buried on the third day. He rose again and is coming back. Well, yep, there is certainly a story that says that. There is a story that says that. Who knows if it's true, though? Who knows? It might be. It might be. The Relic says, you guys still wipe? No, not in this economy, sir. Not in this economy. I actually use a chamois cloth that I wash once a week. That's disgusting. That is actually disgusting. I apologize. Is the sky border closed? No, dude. No, absolutely not. Don't you know we have open border policy? Open border policy. Complete multiculturalism. Despite how much it seems to be sending nations into an absolute upheaval, just keep them coming. Keep them coming, I say. Fight fire with fire. What better way to fix a problem than just exacerbating it? Build a wall for the sky? Well, look, like I said, if the scary aliens are going to come and kick out the Baal worshipping elites, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Jesus is real. I'll bet my toilet paper on it. Okay, that's a big wager. That's a big wager when it comes to the end times, because that's going to be a luxury. Basically, you're basically betting your house. But just remember, guys, once the apocalypse happens and the Great Reset happens, and it's just the Baal worshippers are gone, and we restart the Golden Age, I do have an entire stock of vegetable and all vegetable seeds. They will be available right here, actually. They will be available right here on the Polarity store. Now, we may not have internet, so you may have to come and buy them off me in person, but they will be, all seeds will be available at a 10x the price. And I will not be open for trades. It'll be cash only. Thought experiment. Who would you believe if they said ThreeI Atlas is an ET craft heading towards Earth, and why? That's $5 from John. Who would you believe if they said ThreeI Atlas is an ET craft? Who would I believe? Probably nobody, until I saw it for myself. I actually can't think of like anyone who we would all know, like a name that's in public, because I feel like anyone who says that, I would just be like if they're big enough that, if it's someone big enough that we all know and they said something like that, I would just be like, you're compromised. You're pushing a narrative. You're trying to get $1 billion. I just wouldn't trust him. And it's not that, but it's not even in a way of like, I think you're a liar. It's like the claim is just so big and has such an impact. Like, remember, we're talking about a fucking alien mothership coming to Earth here. Like, this isn't just like we might have a solar eclipse. No, this is like the fucking wildest thing that's ever happened. So I think we just like owe it to ourselves to like just wait and wait until we see it to fully believe it, for sure. Paris Diamonds with $5 says, heck, we could end up in a traffic lane, 3 objects fly by. Heck, we could end up in a traffic lane, 3 objects fly by. Look, I don't really know what you mean by that, but I respect it, Paris. I respect it. It sounds like you're perhaps positing some kind of like galactic traffic jam or something like that. If that happens, I just hope they're all positive. I hope they're all here to liberate us from the Baal worshippers. Josh, would you believe if Suki said that it was a ship? I mean, Suki doesn't even believe in the postman. She thinks the postman is a hologram. So no, I would not trust anything she says, to be honest. But we're all entitled to our opinions. That's the beauty of it. Let's take a look at some comments here. Some comments. Sorry, not comments. This person says, we're already 5 days without any images. What do they want to hide? Comes from the same region of space as the WOW signal. I have heard about that. That is kind of interesting. Why are we not getting better and brand new images? I guess that's a pretty good question. I think we got this here as well. So we've got a post that says government document mentioning Avi Loeb's theories, as well as a supposed radio contact with the sentient beings aboard ThreeI Atlas. So this is where it's getting kind of rogue. Okay, this was posted on August 12th. So this isn't a new post in terms of like this story. But it's saying that supposed radio contact happened with sentient beings of this comet. Okay, so, you know, if this is real, it's kind of crazy. And it's coming from Avi Loeb, though. Now, I just want to say, I'm obviously shitting on Avi Loeb quite a bit here, but I have always thought he seems to come across as like pretty honest to me. Like, he doesn't seem like a shill. He doesn't seem like he's in it for money. But it's just funny how he keeps asking for money. But I guess like he is a scientist, so they require money they require funding for research. So I get that. But I guess it's just funny to shit on him for asking for money. But he doesn't really seem like disingenuous, if that makes sense at the same time. So no shade on him at all. He's just an easy target for me to tease, unfortunately. The document appears to be a government document mentioning Avi Loeb's theories, as well as a supposed radio contact with the sentient beings aboard the craft. So this is like a screenshot. Looks like it was taken on mobile. I guess this information is kind of indistinct. But anyway, also let's just remember this could be a this could be an AI made document. Like these things have circulated. RV called ThreeI a visitor, says Paris. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's what this document is alluding to as well, right? That these are sentient beings on board a ship. So this is a little bit small and blurry, but I'm going to try and read it for you guys. Okay, so this is from the Deputy Secretary of Defense Department in the Pentagon, dated July 15th this year. Top secret. Interstellar Object, High Interest Assessment Object Designation, Comet C 2025 N1 Atlas. Okay. Solar eclipse is more rare than aliens on Earth. It may be. I mean, if they literally live underground in Arizona, then it certainly is. All right, let's see what this says. Excuse me. Actually, let me take a drink. All right. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb and the Galileo Project report anomalous data indicating a non-natural origin for object C 2025 N1 Atlas. Preliminary assessments classify AT1, I guess we can just say Atlas, as exhibiting a high hyperbolic excess velocity. Over 5 kilometers a second retrograde orbital characteristics and anomalous spectral readings incompatible with known cometary bodies. So basically this thing is behaving in a way that is not compatible with other comets or how other comets have behaved. Trajectory modeling confirms near ecliptic path intersecting orbital lanes of Venus, Mars, and Jupiter with expected I can't even read that word. It's a word that I don't recognize, that's why. Anyway, occurring 29th of October 2025. So that's when they're kind of alluding that this thing is going to be closest to Earth. But also, let's just remember that this thing isn't actually coming very close to Earth. It's going to be on the other side of the sun. And for some reason, they're hypothesizing that it being on the other side of the sun could change its trajectory. But if this thing is an alien spacecraft, then it should be able to change its trajectory whenever it wants on its own. So I don't know why I don't know why that date is significant, right? This is just the date it's going to be near the sun. But if it's something for us to worry about, then if it's a spaceship, then I'm sure they would just come straight towards Earth, right? I don't know. That's how I see it. Strategic analysis suggests potential for observational surveillance or deployment of automated probes during planetary flybys. I mean, I just feel like these are such assumptions. Like, yes, like we're already kind of assuming it's an alien ship. Now we're assuming that it's like when it's near the sun, it could deploy probes to Earth. Like, I just feel like there are so many assumptions being made here. It's kind of crazy to me. Intel note, as of the 14th of July, intermittent directed radio signals have been detected originating from the object's leading edge. Signal composition exhibits non-random sequencing and phase-locked data streams as frequencies between redacted. Statement from Ops 12, United States Space Force. Contact established with sentient beings aboard the craft. Behavioral analysis pending. So this is saying that there's some kind of operation manual, Ops 12, from the Space Domain Awareness Task Group, which is part of the United States Space Force, that contact has been established with sentient beings aboard the craft. Behavioral analysis pending. Let's continue. Sensitivity note. The approach on 29th of October 2025 may exploit blind spots in orbital surveillance architecture, concealment maneuvers possible to evade detection by Earth-based infrared radar platforms. Ongoing observation and quantum entanglement analysis advised. Suki. I think the postman's here. On your bed. Yeah. She doesn't realize she's at work. Okay. So, I mean, what this is saying is pretty interesting. If it's real, let's not like fail to point out this has a TikTok stamp in the bottom right. So this is a screenshot that was taken from TikTok, which doesn't mean it's fake. I mean, the person who put it on TikTok had to have gotten it from somewhere. And I must say, like on face value, it does look kind of legit. It doesn't look AI to me, but it could still be like, it could be fake without AI is what I'm saying. Oh, actually, okay, this is LinkedIn. This is a screenshot from LinkedIn. Richard Bandurek from the CEO at Field Propulsion Technology says definitely worth reading. Okay, now I'm concerned. Let's read the caption a bit closer. Alert system, aka Atlas, from the center of the Milky Way galaxy to our sun. Claim the Pentagon analysis. Okay. The thing is though, for me, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, but that is because I really do like just don't feel comfortable like buying into all of this. Purely for the reason that it's a fear-based narrative, and like I don't like being told to be scared. I much rather have an experience and be scared myself. But also the fact that Jeremy Corbell has said a lie is going to be told. You know, say what you want about Jeremy Corbell. I think, you know, data is data. Also that, you know, Project Bluebeam has been a thing in the zeitgeist for a long, long time. And also there is that testimony of Carol Rosen in 2001 saying Werner von Braun, Nazi, was saying that there is going to be they are going to try and use extraterrestrials as a false flag to continue to weaponize space and continue the war machine. It would be terrorism at one stage. It would be the Russians at another stage. It would be communists, third world nations, rogue countries, you know, Syria. And then it would be extraterrestrials. Like, they've told us this. So it's very hard for me to then just be like, oh my God, aliens are coming. Like, no, we've learned this. I mean, keep one foot in and one foot out for sure. But, you know, I find it weird that this document would make its way to the public and it still says things like, you know, like for it to say something like contact established with sentient beings aboard the craft and then say behavioral analysis pending. So you're telling me that even though it's kind of clear that the government and NASA and others have absolutely known about the UFO problem and what is actually going on for probably the best part of 100 years, and probably have a deep understanding of certain aspects of it, and they have for a long time. You're telling me that even though there's that, somehow this document that says we've established content with sentient beings, but we're still trying to work out a behavioral analysis on what they want, somehow that's just popped into the public domain. Somehow that's on fucking LinkedIn. Like, I just don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that, bro. I really don't. I think I've said this a lot before, but I think this is really important, and it's something that we should all try and remember, is that until we get some accountability, until we get like a reason as to why this stuff was covered up in the first place and some accountability on why it was done and some explanations, why would we just blindly buy into whatever is said to us? You're literally, it's like the boy cried wolf. They've been lying to you for a long time. You know that. Now they're telling you more shit, and they still haven't admitted to the other lies. Why would you believe them? That's just it. That's how I think of it simply. However, I am open to watching this 10-minute video on ThreeI Atlas, which I want to watch, because I don't know why it's not coming up though, and it's annoying me. It is annoying me. Hang on a second. Okay, we got it. So here's the video. This goes for 10 minutes. We might stop off along the way. Martin 11, welcome, sir. You absolute legend. You're a weirdo. I can tell. I can just tell, actually. So let's get some love for the weirdo Martin in the chat. Make sure you check out the members only content. Dr. Michael Sulla said it's Jedi's coming. Well, you know, I can't prove that it isn't. I can't prove that it isn't. I'll say that. You know what I find? Okay, actually, do you want to get a little bit weird for a second before we watch this? Because it's a 40K stream, so you know we can take our time with shit. Let's get a little bit weird for a second. We talk a lot about truth in fiction, right? Maybe you know where I'm going to go with this. We talk a lot about truth in fiction. And I think I find it interesting that when you start to look into like these esoteric ideas and belief systems and the kind of things that, you know, people were like Aleister Crowley were doing, and Jack Parsons and many, many others, and many that are still doing it today, that there is this, I really think there is this supernatural layer to reality, and that you master that reality. You can master that through your mind. Like there is something about mastering your mind, kind of like what I said before about not allowing the things that you can't control to affect you, because then you can't live in alignment, because you're constantly getting thrown around by being offended and being scared and whatever. Like if you can stay dialed in, you master your own mind, and I think your reality begins to, the way you look at the world begins to shift a lot. When it comes to Jedis arriving here and esotericism, occult knowledge, magic, for lack of a better word, it feels like Star Wars was in a way kind of like a disclosure. Because it talks about a force, right? A force that you can learn to tap into, but you can use that force for good and be a Jedi, or you can use that force, which is for negative, and go towards the dark. And the dark is like a far easier path to travel. It's far more seductive. And when we look at Hollywood, which seems to be ran by the Baal-worshipping Darth Vaders of the world, they seem to be involved in the supernatural, but the dark side of it. And it is full of all of these things that are very seductive, like, you know, money, drugs, partying, sex, like that dark, creepy world that seems to be ran by like a dark force, or is like heavily involved with the dark force, is also full of those like seductive things. And you hear about all these weird rituals and shit like that. Yet when people are like far more in alignment with themselves, and they are living from a place of like love and empathy and enlightenment, they are almost like repelled by that stuff. Like that stuff just gives you like this weird negative, like repelling energy that it's like you just don't want a part of that. And I feel like when it comes to Jedis, that could be, it's like in a weird way. I'm not saying stormtroopers are going to arrive on ThreeI Atlas, but what I'm saying is that the idea of a supernatural force that we can all tap into for good and evil, that can have a positive or negative effect on our lives, I think that is real. And I think in some kind of strange way, there is truth in Star Wars. Okay, I'm going to stop that there before people think I'm a complete retard. El Significa with $10 says, logically speaking, militarization of space to defend against an interstellar species would be like ants creating a hill that they think can't be stepped on. I think that's a great point. I do think that is a great point. However, I do wonder if there's something about nuclear that is perhaps like a kryptonite, because why does something seem to be so interested in it? It could be something completely different. If we're to follow this whole like Michael Masters extraterrestrial theory. Oh, by the way, every time I talk about Michael Masters extraterrestrial theory, there's always someone in the comments that goes, extraterrestrial isn't a word. Like, hey bro, you know what? It actually is. It's literally the name of someone's theory. So whether they made it up or not, it doesn't matter because that's what their theory is called. So how about you just go and read his book? Because it is. Also, $2 from the cookie. I gotta go, guys. I'm being abducted right now. Oh, my man, stay safe. Hopefully it's just your hairline, like me, but stay safe out there. Be good, and shout out to P. Shaw. As I was saying, extraterrestrial, which is a word, put your Doritos down. Extraterrestrial in relation to nukes. What if it's like, what if it actually is time travel and like something about this period where we're in right now, something wild happened with nukes that basically like decimated our culture, our DNA, and like literally cooked us. And maybe they're back here in time to try and change that from happening. And just like we hear with time travel, if you know, like in Back to the Future and things like that, you can't let like the past you see the future you, because it like cooks you, messes with the timeline. Maybe that's why we can't see the aliens. I don't know. It kind of makes sense. I don't know. That could be real. But the thing is, with all of this stuff, I think so many things could be real. Or as the Grand Maester Richard Dolan says, what if it's all real? What if the Jedis on space arcs with reptilians and interdimensional spacemen coming to save us from nukes, and the underground crypto-terrestrials living beneath Guadalupe Island in Arizona, what if it's all real? Might be. It might be. Paris Diamond says, why haven't we heard theories from Inley RV? Great question, Paris. Great question. There is a lot of things RV could answer for. 100%. Sean says, how does that work? You tell me, my bro. I think I'm a believer that reality is far more supernatural and stranger than we are led to believe. Therefore, how things may or may not work would logically be well beyond our perception or just under consensus understanding of reality. Someone could tell us and would be like, okay, I don't understand because I've never been taught about that. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you try to tell a caveman, like, yeah, bro, I'm just hooked up to the Wi-Fi. He's going to be like, I don't understand because I don't know what Wi-Fi is. I don't know what internet is. You understand what I'm saying? And dragons. Maybe. Why are there dragons in like every story? Why is everyone talking about dragons? Did everyone just come up with a funny little story together all over the world hundreds of years ago? And decide, yeah, let's make up this mythical creature. Woohoo, that'll be fun. That'll keep people guessing for thousands of years. You might be thinking, oh, cool, Josh also believes in fucking dragons. Great. Not necessarily, but maybe. Prove that they're not real. Prove that they weren't real one time, is what I'm saying. Lost Cause. Welcome. Thank you. Let's get some love for Lost Cause in the chat. Appreciate you. Make sure you check out the new content, you little weirdo. All right, let's watch this video. We got 10 minutes here. And we're basically going to get gaslit about ThreeI Atlas for 10 minutes. No, I am open-minded. I'm going into this with an open mind. Let's check it out.
Scientists have recently
Too loud. Sorry. And let me just change something up here. All right.
gathered some of the most important and surprising data about the newly discovered interstellar body named ThreeI Atlas. Images from the Hubble Space Telescope and other powerful observatories, including the James Webb Space Telescope, have revealed details that no one expected. At first, when scientists noticed the bright glow surrounding the object, they assumed it was simply sunlight reflecting off a dusty layer being released by the interstellar body, much like a comet. But new observations and detailed calculations have revealed something very different. Scientists found that the column density of the escaping dust has been estimated at only approximately 10 to the power of 6 grams per square centimeter, a value so small that the dust cloud is far too thin to block or scatter much sunlight. Astronomers describe this state as optically thin. In simple terms, even though dust is being released, the particles are spread out so sparsely that the cloud remains almost completely transparent. This raises a fascinating question. If the dust is too thin to produce the glow, then where is the bright light actually coming from? Well, Harvard University professor Avi Loeb recently explained that the dust cloud around ThreeI Atlas is far too thin to block or scatter much sunlight. This means that the light we see is coming mostly from the surface of the interstellar object itself, not from dust surrounding it. Loeb also pointed out that based on its observed brightness, the object would need to have a radius of about 10 kilometers if its surface reflects sunlight poorly. And if it were a perfect mirror-like reflector, it could be smaller, but still several kilometers across. He further noted that if ThreeI Atlas were just a natural rock, interstellar space could only deliver an object this large to our solar system about once every 10,000 years, making such an encounter extremely rare. Another intriguing detail is the reddish glow observed in the light from ThreeI Atlas. This suggests that the object's surface itself is reddish in color, much like Kuiper Belt objects such as Arakoth, which are.
Can I just highlight the fact that like this video is saying this suggests that the object's surface is red. Therefore, I interpret that as you don't even know what color this thing is, yet it's a hostile alien mothership.
Coated in complex organic materials created by billions of years of exposure to cosmic rays and ultraviolet radiation. However, Loeb has also raised a more provocative possibility. He suggested that the red glow might not be just reflected sunlight at all. Instead, the object could be generating its own light. And if that were the case, then, just like a spacecraft, it might be powered internally, perhaps even by something as advanced.
There's a whole lot of like suggests, might be, could be, possibly, theorizing. By the way, this video was posted 2 days ago if anyone's curious, so this is like relatively new.
As nuclear energy.
You now say this is not only an alien spaceship, but it's nuclear powered? Why are you saying that?
First, I should say that if the light that we observe from this object is reflection of sunlight, its size needs to be bigger than Manhattan Island. In this case, what we are seeing is a glow in front of the object. And I'm analyzing first, if this is caused by dust, the amount of dust is very little. You know, over 6 months, the amount of dust that will be ablated from the object to generate this glow is just less than a millimeter thick. So it could be just dirt on a solid surface of such an object. And the question is, what is the nature of this object? Of course, as it gets closer to the sun, we would get a better view of it.
Well, scientists have also uncovered some other unexpected results about this interstellar.
No one is saying it's hostile, Josh. I mean, people have been saying that, to be fair, but you are right, Johnny, that a lot of the, like, I don't think, no, RV Loeb is not saying it's hostile, and a lot of these sort of people talking about it at the moment aren't necessarily using the word hostile, but the word hostile has been thrown around specifically in the New York Post, which is kind of what I'm referencing. But I guess I'm using that as maybe a slightly exaggerated example for the fact that people seem to be jumping to a lot of conclusions here.
Stellar object. Over several months of careful monitoring, they found that the amount of material eroded from its surface is only a fraction of a nanometer, so thin that it's practically nothing. In other words, the nucleus of this interstellar visitor has remained almost completely intact during its journey through our solar system. Even more surprising, unlike a typical comet.
And sorry, I just want to add to that. Even though that like the mainstream people maybe reporting on this right now aren't specifically saying hostile, I think when you say there is a 7-kilometer wide alien ship heading to Earth, which is what they're kind of alluding to, you almost don't need to say the word hostile to stoke the same amount of anxiety and fear in people. Because a 7-kilometer wide alien mothership heading to Earth isn't normal.
ThreeI Atlas is not shedding enough dust and gas to form a thick coma or a glowing tail. This behavior strongly suggests that it is not a normal comet at all. Instead, it may be more like a rocky body or an exotic interstellar fragment, something fundamentally different from the icy comets we're used to seeing. However, Professor Avi Loeb has pointed out certain findings about this object that raise serious concerns. Most interstellar objects enter at random angles, but this one is different. Its path lies almost perfectly in the same flat plane that the planets orbit in, the ecliptic. That kind of alignment is incredibly rare, and it's not just a coincidence. This angle would actually allow a flyby path that brings it closer to multiple planets, almost like a planned route. It's similar to how we designed the trajectory of our Voyager spacecraft to pass by several planets for study. According to calculations, the chances of...
Was there an update on that, by the way? Like we had, it was Voyager, wasn't it? They were saying they were going to send... Was it Voyager? Or there was like a probe that got sent to Jupiter and it's like got fuel left and they were just going to like launch it at Jupiter because they were done with it. And then they were sort of suggesting maybe we should like use the last bit of fuel to try and see what this thing is. Juno. That's it, Juno. Did anything come of that? Are they actually going to do that?
of this kind of precise alignment happening randomly is only about 0.2%, and it gets even more curious. The object passed unusually close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. These are some of the closest planets to Earth, and having an object from another star system come so near to all three in one journey is highly unlikely. The chances of this happening randomly are around 0.005%, which is extremely rare. It's almost as if the object is on a carefully chosen path, one that maximizes interaction with the inner solar system. Another weird coincidence is that when ThreeI Atlas comes closest to the Sun or its perihelion, it will be on the opposite side of the Sun from Earth.
And this is one of the things that makes me be like, so why are we freaking out? And I think the reason they're citing is that, like, from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that R.V. Loeb thinks that this is almost like could potentially be like trying to, like an evasive maneuver, or like trying to be able to operate in secret so we don't know what it's going to do before it comes out the other side of the sun. Something like that. Or concealing itself from our, like, radar technology or something to scan it. Which, like, if we just, like, relax for a second, doesn't that sound way more like of a conspiracy theorist thing to say? Doesn't that sound like way more tinfoil hat to be like, this rock is going to be on the other side of the sun. It's hiding from us. It's going to make a move. Doesn't that sound way more fucking like conspiracy theory than like there's a giant rock, but it's going to pass like really far. Actually, it couldn't be further away from our orbit from the sun. So what are we worried about? I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading that. Heidi, you made a good comment just before. Where did it go? Yes. Heidi said, anyone else notice the name seems rather symbolic? 3I as in third eye and Atlas as in map. This could be the catalyst for a consciousness rising. The map for the third eye. I like it, Heidi. You tapped in. I'm a fan.
This means Earth will be completely blocked from seeing it at that moment. The sun will be right in the way. The chance of this kind of alignment is around 7%, which again is not very high. It feels almost like the object is deliberately avoiding our view, slipping past Earth through its one major blind spot.
I think you're paranoid.
So the unusual trajectory of this object offers the possibility that it might have been designed so as to have some goals of a reconnaissance mission. So it's possible that it's a comet, but if that's the case, it will become
Give me $1 billion. Thank you.
very clear as it comes closer to the sun and gets heated so that its evaporation rate gets much larger. And then the glow of dust and gas around it should be apparent.
On the other hand, some scientists completely disagree with Avi Loeb's ideas. They believe his claims don't have enough solid evidence to be taken seriously.
It's irresponsible science. This is just coincidence, the path that it comes through the solar system.
In one observation,
I'm glad they, at least for 3 seconds, shared like a contrasting view. Because, I mean, obviously, I'm not a fucking astrophysicist, okay? I can barely do math. But I do, like, my immediate thought was, like, he's saying, oh, this trajectory is 1 in a billion or whatever, or 0.2%. But I can't help but think, like, to have any, isn't any specific trajectory going to be a low percent? Like for example, if a rock came flying in that was like literally any other specific pathway is unique and individual. Therefore, is it not a small percent to be any specific pathway? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining that properly. Like any specific pathway from the edge of the galaxy to the middle, for something to travel that same pathway twice is going to be a very low probability, right? Because the universe is so big, of course, like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly, but if a few of you understand what I'm saying, I'll take that.
a water ice spectrum was detected. That might seem to support the idea that it's a natural comet. But when scientists took a closer look at the noise spectrum, the detailed pattern of light and energy coming off the object, they noticed something strange. The water model doesn't match up well.
Steve says Josh has become way more of a skeptic. I don't know if I would agree with that, because if anything, dude, like since before really researching this stuff, I didn't used to think the world was like a very supernatural place. Now I do. I believe in more than I did. I still believe in UFOs. I still believe in non-human intelligence. However, I feel like I also understand the lengths the government will go to protect their own resources, the lengths the government has gone to produce propaganda to gain the support of its own citizens into doing whatever the fuck it wants, or even just doing it by force, i.e. COVID. I think I've learned that I believe that we have craft and things that would appear like UFOs, but they are just our versions of them. But that doesn't mean I'm a skeptic about like actual aliens and actual UFOs and things like that. So I think I've just become more hesitant to buy into narratives from certain places, but I don't think I've become more of a skeptic. I've become more sus.
The observed signals actually rise where the water model predicts a drop, and drop where it predicts a rise. This mismatch suggests that there's something unusual going on, and that it may not be as simple as just calling it a regular comet. We clearly need more detailed and reliable data before we can say for sure. The most important point Professor Avi Loeb highlights about this new interstellar visitor is its trajectory.
Stop calling it a visitor.
After passing near the Sun. If ThreeI Atlas does not continue along its expected path after its closest approach on October 29, 2025, then the stock market might crash from worries about an alien tech visitation.
Okay, we're not listening to the rest of that fucking garbage. See, this is what okay. Stop calling it a visitor, because yes, you could say, oh, we're just calling the rock a visitor, but like, yeah, but what you're actually doing is you're using very specific language that, although you might just be calling the rock a visitor, when you say that, it doesn't really sound like that. It sounds like you're referring to some kind of intelligence, and I think we're all smart enough to understand that. Also, he literally just said, first of all, we aren't going to know shit really until October the 29th. So how about stop putting this in the news and talk to us in October? And also, the fact that he just said, so yeah, if this thing is in a certain way on October 29th, it's likely the stock markets will crash. Please, bro, spare me. Spare me. Spare me. I don't have time for that. So yes, not a skeptic at all. Sensitive to bullshit though. Sensitive to bullshit. And I'm not an astrophysicist, so I don't want to act like I think I know more than Avi Loeb, because I absolutely don't. But, you know, let's just remember where these things are coming from. Let's just remember that people have told us since 2001, Dr. Carl Rosen said that they are going to use the extraterrestrials as the final card in in weaponizing space and as a reason for war. And everything else that she said has come true. She said they would use terrorism, they would use the Russians, all of these different excuses for endless war. And if you don't realize, like, we have been in a war in some capacity somewhere ever since World War II. Ever since World War II. The world has been in some kind of war, which is fucked. So just based on that, until I see the alien ship in front of me and the aliens come out and then actually do something that makes me feel scared, I'm not buying it. I'm open to the idea that there is this anomalous rock coming near Earth, and I am interested to see what happens in October and see what it does for sure. But like being scared, being worried, being like anxious, buying toilet paper, in like being paranoid that it's going to be an apocalypse, no, thank you. We don't do that here. All right, let's catch up on some super chats. Deborah Wheeler put in $2. Thank you very much, Deb. I actually noticed you mentioned in a comment on a video recently that you lost someone close to you. So I'm very sorry to hear that, and I hope that you're doing okay. I appreciate all of the support you've given on the channel. Raven with $15 says, congrats on the 40K. Myths and stories came from somewhere. Why 3 countries rushing to build on the moon now? So many questions. Oh, and where is Sukiyaki? Is she okay? Did she quit working? She's back. She I think she takes lunch at 12, so she probably just dipped out for a biscuit and maybe to bark at the postman. Paris Diamonds with $2 says, what if it's full of spent nuclear waste? 3i. Let's hope not. Let's hope it's just not like a giant garbage disposal that's about to land here. That would be inconvenient. And Joe, you little freak, you little 3-lettered freakazoid, I can just tell. Thank you very much. Welcome. Check out the members only content and let's get some love for Joe in the chat. Kimbo says, I totally agree with Josh. Like I said, they are made from Miami Mall. the Miami Mall incident's super interesting. I would really love to dig into that one. I really would. There's no postman on a Sunday. When it's a hologram, according to her, the postman comes every day. She's a little bit unhinged. Helium-3 is the new oil, apparently. It's interesting that there are all these theories that, like, China have been... Like, apparently we never went back to the moon. We destroyed the technology to go back to the moon, according to, you know, the retards at NASA. But apparently China have been mining helium-3 on the moon. So you're meaning to tell me that, like, America were just okay with, like, China doing that? Meanwhile, their plans to get back to the moon that were designed on a computer that was less powerful than a calculator, we just still couldn't figure out how to get back there. We did a press release earlier in the year that we have the technology to manipulate space and time, but we still just haven't figured out that calculator-powered computer that got us to the moon. Yeah, I don't buy it, bro. You're full of shit. Good call. Would love a Polarity video on the Miami alien. I feel like I've watched every YouTube on that. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole I would like to go down, but it's tough because, like, the information around it really is so censored. It's really hard to find good stuff on that. China seems so far ahead. They really do. They really do. And this is the thing that gets me, and this always upsets the Mountain Dew drinkers in the chat when I say this. So naturally, I'm going to say it again. But I watch a lot of travel vloggers, and one thing that I always notice about travel vloggers when they are in Chinese cities, they always look really clean, super high tech. They literally look like what you thought the future was going to look like when you were watching Back to the Future in the 90s. That is China. That's what China are doing now. And their streets are clean, and they, like, it's really fucking weird when, and like, you'll watch the travel vloggers go and interact with just the people around China, and they're all so friendly. Even when they don't speak English, they're super friendly. It's cheap to, like, the food and stuff, like, it's all cheap. There's plenty of houses. Now, again, relax, put your Doritos down. I'm not saying China's perfect. And yes, Joshua Smith, it's not clean everywhere. But what I'm saying is, when you go to a major city in Australia, or maybe London, for example, I can't really comment on America other than what I've seen on other travel vloggers in America. But compared to China, it looks, you know, my point is, the China that, like, the White House and, you know, people will on military podcasts will tell you about, that they're like the evil enemy and that we need to beat them and that they're the adversary. But then when you go and look at their cities and their people and actually what's going on there, like, they don't really seem like an adversary at all. They actually seem like they've got good infrastructure. It's a nice place. The people there are really kind. So, like, if you've got a problem with China and they're the adversary, maybe you should go to China and take that up with the people you have a problem with, because all the people who live there seem really nice. And, you know, I'd rather be friends with them than have some fuckwit tell me to go to war with another country because you don't like them. How about you go and settle that with them, bro? Yeah, sorry. Every time I talk about stuff like that, it does get me a bit riled up because I just don't like war. I think not just for the obvious reason that it's like, it funds, you know, it's a money printing machine, and that innocent people's lives are lost. Like, they've just been pitted against each other, like attack dogs for, like, people high up in a castle. It fucks me off. It fucks me off so much. I'll just give another example of that, actually, very quickly. Another travel vlogger that I watch, he's a pretty big one. You guys might know him. His name's Harry Jagged. He's a British dude, and he's done a lot of like obscure countries. Like, he's a pretty big travel vlogger, so he's been to a lot of weird places. I'd highly recommend his channel, by the way. I've even thought about watching some of his videos on here because I just think they give, like, a cool perspective on the world. Anyway, he did a video where he went to Syria. Like, yeah, he goes to some rogue places. So I was like, damn, this guy's in Syria. Like, based on the propaganda and based on the news, this sounds like a wild war-torn place full of terrorists who want to kill white people, full of jihadists who want to stab white people to death. That's because that's how I feel when I watch the mainstream news, right? So I watched Harry Jagged there, and like these people, he would like, the cool thing about Harry is he tries to learn a little bit of the language wherever he goes. So he can speak a lot of languages. Anyway, he's in Syria, and you know, it does look pretty dilapidated. It does look like a place that is war-torn. There's like destroyed buildings around the place. But people are just kind of like hanging out on the street, doing their own thing, and there's no white person in place, in sight at all. It's just Harry. And he would like go up to people on the street and just say hello, and like go buy food at a little stall. And they would say like, where are you from? Where are you from? And he would say like, from Britain or from England. And I was thinking, I was like, dude, like, are you even safe to be there? Like, you're a white person, like, are they not, their whole country is just getting like rampantly destroyed by white people. Like, aren't they going to like just despise the sight of you? I don't know. These are the things I'm thinking. When he tells them he's from England, they're like, oh my God, here, take this for free. Like, we don't want money. I mean, these people are poor as hell. Like, they've got like goats that they're selling and shit. And they're trying to give to him for free. Meanwhile, this is like a dude who travels the world, probably has more money than they could imagine. And they're so kind, so giving, such nice people. They don't show you that on the news. They just tell you that Syria is a terrorist nation that we need to go and occupy and get a handle on the situation. And again, this is nuanced. I'm not saying there aren't bad people in Syria. I'm sure there definitely are. But I just despise the propaganda machine. It makes me sick. School of Self-Awareness for $2 says more heckler impressions, Josh. Look, they come when they come. They, you know, they will happen. They will happen. It's not something we can summon. It's not the Babylon working. It's something that'll just happen. Rogue ET with $10, my man, says everything is possible with dimensional layers to reality. Dragonflies used to be 6 foot long. Insects evolved before dinosaurs. Mantids, reptiloids evolved millions of years before mammals. I mean, that's a very wild statement. 6 foot long dragonflies. I would love to see some evidence of that if you've got it. But thank you, sir. I appreciate your support. If you've got evidence of the mantids and reptiloids here, I want to see it because I'm about that life. Absolutely. So let's get on with the next story. Let's jump back to the TV here. We are going to look at, what are we going to look at? What are we going to look at? This is what we're going to look at. Okay. So Ross Coulthart regularly does his reality check, or he sometimes does interviews and things like that. This week he had like a panel interview, I guess you could say. And I guess I'll just read it. So it says the Rendlesham Forest incident, which is Britain's Roswell, just got a major update. 2 United States Air Force security officers have broken their silence, claiming a hidden UFO landed at Capel Green during the 1980 events. Entities were filmed and the footage was suppressed. Now, before we watch it, I think we can maybe get a bit more context if we read through the thread here. This is by Skywatch Signal on X, who does post some pretty cool stuff, by the way. So if you're on X, you should give him a follow. So late December 1980, strange lights over Suffolk, England led to multiple nights of military encounters near RAF Bentwaters and Woodbridge. So, I mean, most people know about Rendlesham Forest. This is not really new. For decades, we've heard the official story. Jim Penniston, John Burroughs, I think it is. The audio recording, the radiation injuries from the craft. But apparently that is only half the story. So this is apparently the rest of it. Larry Warren, security policeman at Bentwaters, says he witnessed a separate craft land at Capel Green. He says, I saw a triangular object that was about 20 feet across. It went up to a rounded kind of top. It had a reddish amber light at the top, and it kept distorting and changing. It was snow white. This is interesting because we have heard that I mean, Professor Simon Holland and Ross Coulthard have talked about the fact that the Rendlesham Forest craft may have been piloted by a United States military psionic asset, which is kind of wild. It's kind of wild. How many screens am I looking at? 2, but one is a widescreen, and the other one is also big. So there's a lot of real estate going on here. Where were we? Warren describes something far more shocking. Entities emerging from the craft. Part of the craft turned into a bubble on the ground. 3 beings came out. They had large black eyes. They communicated telepathically. He didn't call them aliens, just beings. Where are we? For years, Warren was dismissed, even vilified, but testimony backs him. Adrian Bustinza heard on Holt's famous audio that night, later confirmed Warren's presence at Capel Green. All right. So there's the basic context. Let's take a listen to this clip of this guy making claims, but this might just be the theme of the show, but this guy feels sus to me. But I'll let you guys make up your own mind.
Saw a triangular object that was about 20 feet across. It went up to a rounded kind of top. It had a reddish amber light at the top. It kept distorting and changing. It was snow white. It looks a little different in the movie.
Actually, sorry, you know what? This is only a 2-minute clip, and I feel like it's going to be better if we get more context on this. So I've actually got the full thing here. This is from the reality check that it came on. So this segment is called What Larry Saw in the Forest, and it goes for about 5 minutes. So I think let's just watch this.
In here, and I've got a big whip under my desk, and I don't want you to worry about people slagging you off and calling you a fraud or anything like that. I want a nuts and bolts, full color, detailed description of what you saw on the ground. So please give me a full account right through to what you say included entities.
Well, I saw a triangular object that was about 20 feet across. It went up to a rounded kind of top. It had a reddish amber light at the top. It kept distorting and changing. It was snow white. It looks a little different in the movie. There were parts of it that it just didn't look aerodynamic. You didn't know what to think, and you weren't in the right kind of normal mindset like we are right now. And this being, thing, or whatever, I've never said alien, came off the surface of this object. It was
what do you see?
It was like a bubble. It depicted in Theon's film. The best way I can describe it is just a part of the fabric of that craft separated on the ground 3 feet above the ground, or a foot off the ground. I mean, these things in it faded out, and there were 3 individual looking. In fact, Bustinza is the one that said, "Why are these kids here?" It just, everything was bizarre, and it was there. And who else was there and to describe them, there was the big eyes, but it was like Ghost, okay? It looked like Ghost. It wasn't like Close Encounters, the little aliens come out and shake everyone's hands and off they go. It was very surreal and very surreal. Did it happen?
Okay, I need descriptions. So are they humanoid creatures?
Oh yeah,
What color are they?
Well, geez, they were like ghosts. Picture Casper the Friendly Ghost, but not friendly. Facial features not really defined inside these lights, and you couldn't see the lower extremities very well.
Did they have arms? Did they have
oh
legs?
yeah.
How hard is it to just give a clear description, bro? Like, and even when Ross was like, okay, just give me like a clear explanation, he's like, oh, geez. Oh, geez, wow. Like, bro, you saw an alien. How the fuck is that not burnt into your mind? Explain it clearly and thoroughly, please.
Yeah. There were 2 arms, and it went down they were on the sides of these beings, things, non-humans.
Did they have hair, ears, nose?
No, nothing. Mouth? It's the classic Communion. You ever see the book by Whitley Strieber, Communion? Of course, everyone's seen that cover. That face, that's what it was. It was one of those alien or non-human, because I don't say alien, They could be from Earth. I don't know.
So they had big black eyes, was it? What were the
They
eyes
had
look like?
almond-shaped kind of, the classic wraparound kind of eyes. That was the most defining image of the face.
And how close are you at the point where you see these entities in this craft?
Well, according to Sergeant Bastinza, I'm closer than he was, and I was too damn close. I was probably about 15 feet from it at that point. Yeah.
Is there any noise?
No noise. There was a vacuum out there, the whole place. There was no noise except the sound of a dog barking off way out near probably that farmer's house. Yeah.
Was there any, I don't know whether you spoke to the British police or anybody did, but why did the British police come all the way from presumably the local town? What had drawn them there? They'd seen the lights themselves over the forest, had they?
Right. One was called Brian Cresswell, and I think he's deceased. We know that now. I wrote a book that's pretty good once years ago. Not with the guy, though. I wrote it with. And
did you say I wrote a book that was pretty good? Fuck. This bloke rates himself.
They were called to respond to lights, I guess, because there have been 2 nights that these sightings have been reported to the local constabulary, the Suffolk Constabulary, and they cover a huge territory. So they came out in a Range Rover of that era and just responded and followed the police trails because we're on British soil, obviously, when this is happening. So it's a huge national security issue. That's another reason why Holt is jumping through hoops for whoever he does for.
Yeah, I don't know about this guy. People hate when there's a book to be sold, and I can see that in the chat. and I usually defend people when people attack them just for having a book, because I think it's important to realize that just because you have a book doesn't mean you're a liar. Like, sometimes a book is just someone's way of telling you a story that it could be true, right? But in this case, I don't know, man. This guy is just I'm not really buying it. I'm not really buying it. So, and just the fact that it was so hard for him to give a description. Yeah, it doesn't pass the smell test. This whole episode went for an hour. I've actually found that recently I don't really seem to I'm not really watching as much News Nation and stuff anymore. I don't know why. I don't know. I wonder about old mate Ross. I wonder about him. Not that I wonder about him personally. I think, he's grinding and he's doing his thing, and he definitely is trying to dig through what he thinks is the truth. And I don't know, he's the investigative journalist, not me. But I think I just can't help but wonder if maybe the people that scooped him up early and got him in the circles and got him in his wing, and if maybe they had an ulterior motive and were feeding him things that were maybe not. I don't know. I just don't know. And but I think even I feel like surely, obviously he would never say this publicly, but I feel like surely Ross himself must be open to that idea that the people he deals with might be fucking with him, and there's no way he could actually know that. And he does always say that he's only as good as his own sources. So I don't know. I wonder about old Rossi. I must say, I just sort of stumbled across a video, like an old News Nation, just came up randomly on my TV the other day. It was just cycling videos, one after the other. And it was from about, I reckon, a year and a half ago, or a year, about a year and a half ago. And Ross looked considerably younger. Now, obviously we all age, it's normal. But it reminded me of those photos you see of Obama before he became the president, Obama at the end of his term, and bro looks like he has aged 3 decades. Basically, a lot of presidents do. You see it when photos of men who went to war and came back. they look like they've aged like crazy. Ross, I think, is kind of looking a bit like that. Is maybe look like he's had a lot of mental strain over the last year and a half, 2 years maybe. That could just be me though. Maybe he just woke up looking like shit one day and had to film a video, and now I'm just judging him on that. Who knows? But I do think, regardless of if he's being like coerced or not, it would be a pretty stressful role that he holds. Axel F, you little freak. You've got to be a freak with a name like Axel. Absolutely. Thank you, sir, for the support. I appreciate you. Make sure you check out the members only content. Let's get some love in the chat for Axel. Now, guys, if you haven't already, please just slap a like on the video. It's free, and it helps me a lot. It's good for the video. It's good for the algorithm. And it's super easy. You can just scroll down probably like one scroll wheel and click it, and it does wonders. Works wonders. In fact, you know what? I'll trade you a free Suki treat for a like on the video. Suki? Suki? Yeah. Yeah. What a good girl. What a good girl. Poor Ross, he has good intentions, I think. Oh, absolutely, Heather. And let's just be clear, I don't know if he is being led astray or not, but I don't know. I think just with the whole disclosure movement lately and the way that it's going, it's becoming easier and easier to feel that that may be the case. Absolutely. Questionable says, you watch too many stupid shows. Questionable, I could say you're watching one right now. Ross isn't Ross. Yes, Simon, he has been cloned and replaced. Absolutely. I think they're using the same robot as they use for Biden, just a different skin suit. Jay has gifted 5 memberships. Jay, you're an absolute freak. A legend. A legendary freak, actually. Thank you very much, sir. Beautiful support. A testament to why this community is absolutely goated with generosity. Make sure you say thank you if you received one, and let's get some love for 5 new weirdos in the pack. The family continues to grow. His intentions on MH370 weren't good. Yeah, but the thing is, I think with the MH370 stuff and Ross, it's clear that, I think it is quite clear that someone is telling him not to talk about that. I think that is clear. Because Ross has almost sort of like said that without saying it, right? Because he's openly, specifically on the Jesse Michaels podcast, but in other points in time, has openly spoken about anomalous orb activity around planes and how he knows that that is a thing. He's the one who showed pictures of them. And they were shown on the Jesse Michaels interview with Ross as well. He knows that orbs around planes are a thing and are not new and are not an isolated case. So, given that you are an investigative journalist of a high caliber, by the way, like, you know, Ross is a good journalist. I think he does know what he's doing when it comes to investigations. So the fact that he's not even willing to entertain the idea of those videos in spite of the evidence that's been presented, I think that makes it clear that he's been asked not to speak about it. That's my opinion. That's not truth. That's my opinion. Ashton has had to deal with everyone running with the corridor crew VFX analysis. Yeah, I know. That corridor VFX analysis is genuinely woeful. Like, and I say that as a former visual effects artist because I worked with high-level artists. I was a junior artist, so often I would literally work with a senior artist right next to me, showing me, teaching me, and I would be learning directly from the way their mind works and how they do things. And so when I watched the corridor crew and the things they would like use as reasons and like the way they would pose their theories was just so like laughable. And to couple it with the fact that the whole thing was like edited like some like one-liner Mr. Beast video, like quick editing and sound effects and everyone's laughing and it's like this big wahoo thing to appeal to people with like a TikTok attention span. I was just like, bro, what is this? Like this feels like a literal paid disinfo campaign. It's crazy. And even in saying that though, I'm open to the videos being faked. They could be, but it doesn't make any logical sense to me. Especially considering the fact that like, who made them? Still haven't found out. Kind of weird. Kind of weird that these funny little joke videos that were made in someone's bedroom 5 days after a plane disappeared have kind of lined up with the fact that the plane was never actually found. And this was in 2014 when the whole idea of orbs weren't really like in the mainstream narrative. And now all of a sudden orbs are kind of seen everywhere and like orbs around planes. You know, we hear a lot about this stuff. Like it's just weird, right? There's a lot of things that just don't make a lot of sense. The satellite video is the one that I think is far more compelling. I've heard like theories of people say that because the satellite video is what came out first. And I've heard a theory that I think is quite interesting that when that video came out, the thermal video was made as a intentional leak to be debunked, to try and debunk the whole situation. I.e., they would put out the thermal video knowing they had an asset that they could try and match up to it, and that would debunk it. Now, obviously, that asset doesn't even match 100%. So, you know, I don't know if that theory holds up totally, but it's an interesting theory for sure, because I think the satellite video is the one that's like pretty rock solid, in my opinion. In my opinion, let's make that clear. Don't want to upset the MH370 brigade. They can probably hear us from here. They're probably assembling their cavalry on X and about to come in and start bombing my entire X feed for the next 2 weeks, as what seems to happen every time you talk about MH370. All right, let's go ahead with one more story. Again, just quickly, smack a like on the video if you haven't already. And if you are late and you don't know already, the Polarity merch store is live. You can go and get yourself a hat, a mug, a tee, a hoodie, and you can let the world know that you're an absolute freak, because what better badge of honor is there, really? So let's go to our last little story here. So this is kind of just like a little follow-up, a little bit of additional context to my latest video, where we looked at the rapper Lil Tony, who a lot of people had a lot of hard time understanding, which I understand. It's okay. Hopefully this one won't be as bad. This is essentially the video that he was talking about. So if you watch that video, his story was basically saying that, you know, he comes from the hood. Some people have a bit of money, but he got invited up to this photo shoot and he realized that these people had like different money. That these were all like kind of like kids his age, because he is a kid, really. He's like 21 or something. And this was maybe, you know, a couple of years ago. So he's like literally, these are kids. And I actually think that's kind of important to remember. These really are kids. And by kids, I mean they're under like, I'd say most of them are all under like 22, maybe 23 at the oldest. Some are probably like 19, 20. And they're fucking around in Ferraris and McLarens. So it begs the question. Anyway, if anyone who maybe hasn't seen the video, Lil Tony, upcoming rapper, got invited to hang out with all these dudes for a photo shoot up a mountain. And like some weird shit started to happen, and one of the dudes started to get angry, and his face shapeshifted, and like it fucked him up. It fucked up Lil Tony. And they said, before that happened, Lil Tony was saying, like, how do you guys have fucking Ferraris and McLarens and shit? Like, you know, this is like different money to what, you know, we normally have. And they said, we do demonic rituals. And Tony was kind of like, nah, you're fucking, like, you're playing with me. Like, well, what do you actually do? And he's like, no, seriously, we do demonic rituals. Haven't you ever, haven't the Illuminati ever approached you? And he was like, no. And he kind of thought they were like messing with him. And yeah, his words on it, but yeah, yes, Ricky, he name dropped Leonardo DiCaprio, but basically said that like these people will give you whatever you want. You can have all the money, you get the fame, you do whatever you want, but you basically just got to go do some gay shit with them. You got to go spend a night with them, and then you can have what you want. And he talks about how that it's a control mechanism, because you can't You can't get to a certain level of status and influence without being controlled, because when you get to a certain level of status and influence, you become a threat, because you could build, an army, for lack of a better word, to topple the existing control system and the establishment. So up-and-comers get offered the world because obviously, a lot of people think materialism and money and fame is everything you could ever want. They get offered that, they sign the check, aka sell their soul to the devil, and now they're compromised because they're probably have the ability to be blackmailed. This is the photo shoot in question. This is a short video. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'm just going to let it play. This is a short video, and I believe the dude who is like sort of the main character, I think he's like the Asian looking guy. I believe that is the guy who Lil Tony is talking about when he said he saw his face change. So it's like the Asian guy with chains and stuff. I'm busting for the bathroom, so I've got wireless headphones on so I can still hear it. So I'm going to let this play, and I'll be back in just a moment. Suki's going to have to man the ship.
I thought so. I might stop with you. So my
3 a.m. I'm in the studio, down the doors and all.
We at the top of a hill. I'm like, these guys gonna kill me out there, bitch. What's going on, gang? Look at me, gang. Bruh. No cat, y'all niggas don't know. I come from fucking nothing. Look at me, twin. Look at this shit. What the hell? I come from nothing, gang. To see shit like this. And it ain't really nothing. It really ain't shit. Get this shit on camera. Hold on. I ain't gonna fake this shit finna blow up on TikTok. You done got me on the top of the fucking mountain. So hard. Oh shit. Y'all can see what I'm finna throw up. So I'm happy as fuck, man. Oh, I'm at the top of the mountain. I thought these niggas finna kidnap me. I was like, damn, so I'm finna die out this bitch. I was like, these niggas finna shoot me and throw me off the hill. Damn, man, these whole there's no way I can buy these bitches.
This is the guy, I believe. I believe this is the guy. Now, a lot of people, understandably, saying they struggle to understand Lil Tony, and I get that. Saying that he's speaking English is a little bit of a stretch, but there's nothing wrong with saying that. But I think the problem is when people hear someone speaking in a very strange dialect with a very warped accent and slang that perhaps depicts them coming from a lower socioeconomic area, they then think that is a reason that they're lying, or that they must be full of shit, or that they're on drugs or something. Like, I think that's lazy thinking. And, if you think that, you're better than that. But at the same time, like, I get it, but I think, we're better than that. Actually, I'm going to turn this down because it is a little bit, apparently that's the guy. I don't know that, but when Tony said he saw this dude's shapeshift, it's this guy that you see here that he's talking to. And like, this is the guy that apparently has these Ferraris and McLarens. I mean, let's just remember, these things could be rented. Like, we don't actually know. The ins and outs of this story is kind of unclear. But what I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I believe what Lil Tony said. I believe what he said. Actually, how do you, like, just hit me in the chat. Do you guys, like, how did you feel watching that video of him telling his story? Gangster Ghetto Speak Atlanta. Yeah, that, like, the gangster Atlanta, like, way of speaking is extreme. It is, like, probably one of the hardest things to, like, hear, in a sense of, like, it's hard to decipher because it's very odd. Shapeshift into broccoli. I think that's the form he's already in. He shapeshifted out of broccoli form and into Hollywood possessed demon form. Believed him. How could he make that up? I mean, I think he could make it up. Like, we could all make up a story like that. But one, the fact that it correlates to a lot of the things we hear from other people coming out of Hollywood, it makes a lot of sense. But also, and I think we've probably watched enough of that for now. The other thing that kind of compels me is the fact that, like, you know, in a way, it's almost the fact that he is an Atlanta ghetto gangster that talks like that. Like, I don't think dudes who talk like that are really into going on podcasts and telling you they saw people shapeshift. They're into they'd probably be going on to podcasts and wanting to talk about how much money they've made and like how good their rap songs are and how much of a gangster they are. Like, shapeshifters and talking about the devil is not like Atlanta ghetto regular rhetoric. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of think, like, in a way, the fact that this dude is so hard to understand because he is so from the hood and like far removed from the kind of things that we talk about on this channel, in a way makes him more believable. Because, like, what the fuck is, like, what does this guy care about that? And he kind of said that a little bit in the thing. He's like, he says, like, where I come from, like, we don't really care about the devil. Like, you know, no one's interested in that shit. Like, no one really cares about God and the devil. Like, that's not what life is about. But he said he began to kind of find his way to God in prison because he started reading the Bible because there was nothing else to do. And then when that happened, it kind of like solidified the fact that, like, oh, this shit is actually real. Damn. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And I just thought for anyone who had seen that video, that a little bit of extra context and just like some footage of what was going on, who it was, would be interesting because I found it interesting. There's a million stories people could tell, but it seems like we're hearing this type of thing a bit too often for there not to be some sort of truth to what people are trying to tell us. Yeah, Julie, I totally agree with you. And that's the thing is, like, a lot of people, and this is the same goes for the UFO problem, right? A lot of people say, oh, but where's the evidence of UFOs? Where's the evidence there are Baal worshipping demons in Hollywood? Where are the evidence there are, you know, demonic possession and whatever? It's like these things are very difficult to like tangibly prove. But for me, I think there's evidence in the fact that there is like shitloads of people independently telling the same story. Like, at what point, like, if you were in a room full of 1,000 other people and all 1,000 of them are going, dude, like, we just saw a UFO. We just saw a massive UFO right there. And I swear to God, we all saw it. And all 1,000 people are telling you. Would you really be sitting there going, I want to see some evidence? Like, bro, if 1,000 people are all telling you, isn't that... Actually, that example isn't good because 1,000 people who don't know each other, who are all independently saying the same thing, is more relative and I think more powerful because that's what it is, right? You're getting lots of people who don't know each other from all over the world saying the same thing. That in itself kind of feels like evidence to me because it's like, are all these people independently hallucinating? Or is the whole world making up lies to trick you, aka then you're the biggest conspiracy theorist in the world? Or is the simple fact that the world is just a little bit more supernatural than you've been told and there is weird shit going on and these are some of the people who have experienced it? That actually feels like the most easiest to accept answer to me. But maybe I'm just weird. Obviously. Toxic Fart, $5, says, here's a few more bucks to increase the balance of your bank account. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Aaron Oasis with $10 put in a little level up sticker. Thank you very much, Aaron. I appreciate you. After all we've covered, I'm not sure I can be 100 on anything. Jerry, my man, I mean, after all we've covered, you should know that you can't be 100 on anything. That's the very essence of this channel. Like, you know, you should never be 2 feet in anything unless you've got proof. Unless you can literally hold up proof and show people, or unless you know as well, unless you're a first-hand witness to something and you know it, then I think being 2 feet in anything is like silly, because if you're presented new information that changes the way that your opinion or the way that you think, you now have to pivot, and then you look like a dickhead. If you've been claiming like aliens are from another planet, they're 100% from another planet, there's no way it could be any other thing, and then we get evidence that actually they're from underground, and now all of a sudden you're like, yep, aliens are from underground, see, it's obvious, the evidence is here. People are going to be like, oh, bro, you just seemed pretty confident they were from outer space 5 minutes ago. Like, now you're pretty confident they're from here. Like, do you even know what the fuck you're talking about? Like, I don't know if I should believe you. You just seem confident about everything you say. Kind of seems a little weird to me. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why you should always keep 1 foot out, because unless you know, stay objective, stay on the fence, absorb information, and just enjoy the show. I'm 100 that there is something very wrong with how the world works. Yeah, I'm pretty 100 on that too, because I have evidence. Look around. Look at the government. Look at all the shit look at all the laws that are trying to be pushed through. Look at unvetted immigration. Look at the unvetted immigrants that are getting put up in housing while war veterans are living on the street. Now, not that there's anything wrong with looking after a refugee coming from a war-torn country, but when there's men who put their life and probably ruined their life, you know, if we're thinking about your mental state, men who probably ruined their life and their mind fighting for some rich old man up in his tower for his country, to now not have enough money to just have basic necessities. Meanwhile, you're just funneling money into people arriving from another country. That's some evidence that the world is fucked, to me, personally. Again, just an opinion. Don't want to start another eugenics debate. Or do I? Joe chucked in $1 with a little smiley face. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you, sir. Actually, you know what? I will just add a little. Actually, I've made an amendment to my eugenics policy. So while it's in the conversation, I've taken your concerns and thoughts into consideration, and I've reformed my policy. No longer do you need to apply to have a baby, because I think that decision should not be in the hands of a government. I totally agree with that. A lot of you guys are saying that. However, there is now certain criteria that you have to meet, that everyone can meet. This is criteria that we all have the ability to do. And I haven't fully fleshed out what that criteria is, but it's probably just like general things. Like, can you pass a test for, like, can you pass a test that shows you don't take meth? Can you prove that you don't use heroin? Have you held a stable job for 2 years? Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? So, you know, something along those lines. Again, are you just a pretty generally good person? Are you a good person? Do you have good morals, good values? Do you have the ability to provide for a child? If you can show me that, go ahead. Breed like a rabbit. That is my amended policy, and I will now put that to the people for you to debate over and send you a new round of feedback. And I will potentially make adjustments pending your feedback. No promises. Holy Ray with $20 says, appreciate all your content. Love our weirdo community. Here is to you and Suki's hard work. Thank you very much, Nicole. I appreciate you. Longtime supporter of the channel, one of the OGs, and we've got a few here. Let's finish these off. Ace of Hearts celebrating 1 month as a member. I've been waiting to use this for something good, and I just want to say congrats, Josh. 40K milestone is huge. Much love, brother. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. You're in here a lot as well. A lot of you guys are regulars, and I love that. It is absolutely a family here. Money for pens to pen the new legislation. Thank you very much, Susie. I will begin drafting that as soon as this stream is finished. And you know what? The Relic for $5 says, there's more where this came from. Just need you to do some gay shit. Sincerely, the Illuminati. That is the best super chat of the day so far. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. But I will have to respectfully decline the gay shit approach from the Illuminati. I would much rather stay independent. But thank you very much for the offer, sir. And you know what? For that little bunch of super chats, yep, didn't even have to say her name. She just heard, she could just hear the snacks. Yep. Come here. Hey, oh, yeah, a bit more. Yep, she stole that one from me. That wasn't her gentle self. But all right, we're just over 2 hours in. I think it's time to play a game. I'm excited to play a game. If you haven't already, like the video, check out the merch store, and hopefully this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping. If it works, I'm going to give prizes out to the winners, which will be discount codes for the merch store. Toxic Fart says, you missed my previous super chat from Jake Barber. Did I actually miss you a super chat? Oh, I did. I missed a couple of things. Mermaid Moxie gifted a membership. Thank you, Mermaid. I'm sorry I missed that. Very generous of you. I appreciate your support. And Toxic Fart, $2 says, here's a contribution from Jake Barber. Thank you very much, sir. Apologies for missing those. I think they must have just came flying in and caught me off guard. Where's the beanies, Josh? They're on there. Yep, we have a beanie available. It is embroidered on an AS color beanie. Very nice, very stylish. It doesn't have a good photo yet. It's just a 3D mock-up, but I'm aiming to finalize any pieces that don't have a proper photo yet soon. But I can assure you the quality is high. That was always my first order of business when I started doing this, is I wanted to print on good quality clothing. So go and enjoy that. You should get Suki a nice beanie. There's no chance she'd wear it. Actually, I bought her a beanie off Amazon. It was one that she could like poke her ears through, and it had these little like bear ears on it as well. And she hated it. Lasted about 3 seconds. Never wore it again. All right, let's play a game. Let's get rid of that because we don't need it. And what do we got here? That doesn't look right. This is meant to be my scoreboard. All right, hold up. Stand by, elevator music. Actually, you know what? We can put this music on because it is game show music. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. I thought we'd get further than this. It's being really weird. I don't know why it's not showing the full screen. It's not normal. Okay, you know what? You know what? We'll just go from scratch. We'll do it all over again. This will work. So what we're going to be doing, I guess I can explain to you the show, or I can try to while I do this. What we're going to be doing is this is going to be like a quickest answer wins kind of game, but it's going to be a tally. Okay, so we've got a little spreadsheet here to track your results. And I would advise you maybe refresh the stream, make sure, because ping, and there's nothing I can do about this, your ping is going to matter, okay? If you're behind on the stream, if you have a shit connection, unlucky, but there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. but your ping is going to matter because it's going to basically be whoever answers first is going to get a point. And that's how we're going to do it. All right. And this is the Polarity merch scoreboard. Okay. Scoreboard's been brought to you by the Polarity merch store today. So this is how we're going to do it. Normally when we do games, I put the question on the stream, but with the way that this game's going to work, I think it's going to be far easier if I just, like, you guys have to be on it. You've got to be paying attention. And basically, whoever I see answer first wins. And I'm just going to be basing that on how it appears here on the screen, on who has the right answer. Can mods play? Absolutely. Everyone can play. Yep, you don't need to do anything to play other than just try to answer the question. You'll be able to see the top 15 results here. So as people get the questions right, I will try and tally them up. I'll put your name on here and I'll just add a little tally next to your name. But if we have more than 15 people answering, then, I mean, unless you get into the top 15, you're not going to be visible. So hopefully this works. We haven't played a game that's like this technical for me to manage live, but if it works, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I'm hoping it's a fast-paced game. So I don't want to, like, you know, and obviously people can Google, right? But if someone already knows the answer, they're going to be quicker than anyone who can Google, right? So by all means, try and Google it if you want, but you're never going to beat someone who already knows the answer. I want to gift memberships, but can't figure out how to from YouTube app on my phone. Very generous of you, Stephen. I appreciate the $20 super chat. I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately, though. I don't really know what it looks like from the phone perspective. Maybe someone else in the chat can help you. Otherwise, the $20 is plenty, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay. So the first 10 questions, they're going to get harder as we go. The first 10 questions that we've got, so I'm just working out the best way to do this. The first 10 questions are the easiest, okay? So these will count and you will win points for these, but it's kind of like a test run at the same time. So here's your chance. Refresh the stream, make sure it's live, make sure you're up to date so you have the best chance possible. I'm an old fart. What the hell is ping? Your ping is your connection to the stream or the latency between like my stream and you watching it. So you want to try and make sure like your connection is fresh, you're live, because some people might have a little bit of a difference. Some people might hear me say it a little bit quicker than you, so there might be little advantages. We can't do much about that. It is what it is. But I think you've had your chance to refresh the stream. I'm going to take a drink and then we're going to ask the first question. And remember, we have prizes up for grabs here for the Polarity merch store. Okay. Let's... In which year did the Roswell UFO incident occur? Now, I know we know this one. It's going to be a matter of who's quickest. Pebbles. That's a point for Pebbles. There it is. All right, that's how quick it is. You guys know now. Next question. Which US state is home to the infamous Area 51? What state hosts Area 51? There it is. Farmer Norm with a point. Got 2 people on the board. Some people are still answering 1947. Tim Beck, I urge you to refresh your stream, my brother. You are never going to get an answer at that rate. Refresh your stream, please. Question 3. What does UAP stand for in the Pentagon reports? The most recent definition. This could be a bit of a trick one. Yep, there it is. Perfect harmony. Very quick. I'm going to call you Perfect Harm on here with a point. Very good. Sean Sullivan says Nevada. Sean, my brother, refresh your stream. Leo says 1947. Please, guys, refresh your streams. You're never going to win at that rate. All right, next question. What was the name of the Pentagon's UFO program active from 2007 to 2012? The Pentagon's UFO program 2007 to 2012. Okay, interesting. Now, let me be clear. I will not accept spelling errors, especially on something like this. I will not accept spelling errors. The first correct spelling was TC with, actually, no, incorrect. Waruna Farm with A-tip, spelt A-A-T-I-P. TC was first, but did not spell it with two A's. Unlucky, brother. So Waruna Farm. That is a point on the board for you, sir. Or ma'am. Whatever. Congratulations. I'm not assuming your gender. All right, next one. Let's keep going. Who claimed to work on reverse engineering alien craft at S4 near Area 51? Perfect harmony again. There we go. We have our leader. Very good. Very quick. They've got good ping. They're going to be tough to beat. Okay, that's fine. There's prizes for the top 3, by the way. So, you know, don't get upset if you're not first. There's prizes for the top 3. In what US state? That kind of gives it away. Let me reword this. In what US state did a famous mass US sighting occur in 1997? Oh. Peter with a little bit of telepathy, I think. I think she said that before I even finished talking. Well done, Peter. We'll put that on the board for sure. The Phoenix Lights of Arizona. Very, very good. Next question. Who testified in 2023 about US crash retrieval programs and non-human biologics? Toxic Fart says 1947. Almost. And Wool Daddy coming in with the first answer that was correct and also with the correct spelling. Congratulations, sir. Next question. Maybe one too many O's on there. Next question. What shape were the UFOs reported in the Belgium wave sightings of 1989 to 1990? What shape were they? Very good. Just MX. Quick with it. The man's refreshed. He's certainly got the ping. Any 1947s? All right. Let's keep going. Next question. What Cold War CIA project researched psychic spying and remote viewing? Cold War era CIA project. Psychic spies, remote viewers. I'm not going to be that strict. I'm not going to be that strict. I'll give that to Nathan Beatty. Congratulations with the answer, Stargate. I was going to be an asshole I was going to channel Hitler Josh and say I want Project Stargate, but I won't do that. I won't do that. I'll give you that. No, not Nathan Stargate. Nathan Beatty. Congratulations, sir, with a point. Right, we got a few names on the board now. Which constellation is linked to the mysterious WOW signal detected in 1977? I didn't even know the answer to this one before I got these questions. Which constellation is linked to the WOW signal detected in 1977? Perfect Harmony again. I don't know if you're quick with it, if you're quick with Google. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Did I distribute those points wrong? I'm quick and I know my UFO lore. Does Farmer Norm actually have 2 points, or are you meant to be on 3, Perfect Harm? Yeah, I thought, yeah, Perfect Harm has 3. That's my bad. I thought so. Thank you for that. Trying to navigate a lot of things here at the same time. All right, this is the last one of the easy section. Who originally coined the term flying saucer in 1947? Who originally coined the term? Waruna Farm. He's done it again with 2 points. The correct answer is Kenneth Arnold. Very good, sir. Spelling was correct as well. We can slip you in there. Okay. Oh, people are saying give the answers. I'll just go back and give any answers in case anyone who didn't know. Roswell was 1947, as some people are still answering in the chat. Nevada is the home of Area 51. UAP stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. The Pentagon's UFO program was ATIP, AATIP, stands for Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Bob Lazar was the one who was allegedly reverse engineering alien craft at S4. Arizona was the state of the Phoenix Lights. David Grush was the one who testified in 2023. Black triangles were sighted at the Belgium UFO wave. Project Stargate was the CIA's remote viewing program. Sagittarius was the correct constellation for the WOW signal. And Kenneth Arnold was the one who coined the term flying saucer. Arnold did not. It was a reporter. Yeah, that's right. It was kind of like a conflation of the two. So Kenneth Arnold said that what he saw, which, you know, actually kind of looked like what the Germans were building at the time with the Horton Wing. He said that these things that looked like the Horton Wing moved like they were skipping like saucers on the water. And the journalists then used the term flying saucers. He didn't specifically call them flying saucers, and he actually details them looking as like a flying wing. Almost kind of like a modded version of a B-2, which is kind of interesting. Josh, you added 1 to Aruna, then deleted it. No, Aruna is on 2. He's not on 3. I'm pretty sure that is correct. I'm pretty sure these scores are correct. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, oh no, maybe not. Waruna says it's correct. Okay, look, I'm gonna roll with this. I'm gonna roll with this for the sake of continuing the game. All right, we're going up a level of difficulty here. We're going up a level of difficulty. Which Israeli space chief claimed aliens are in a galactic federation? Remember, spelling is important. Don't rush it. Oh. Simo with the first answer, but unfortunately the spelling was incorrect. The correct spelling is Haim Eshed, spelled Haimeshed. Well done, sir. You are now tied first place. A strong contender and a great speller. Which alien abduction inspired the movie Fire in the Sky? So we want the name of the person. We want the name of the person. Wake Up with the Rooster with the correct answer. We're going to call you Wake Up Rooster. And the correct answer is Travis Walton. Very good, sir. Let me just No, what have I done? Okay, that's fine. We can continue. What does MJ12 stand for? What does MJ12 stand for? Yep, there are prizes for first, second, and third. Pebbles, very good. Pebbles was first. I will double check that because the answers... Okay, it's auto-correcting answers, so I need to be careful here. It's assuming I want to put 3 in because there's 3 here, so I need to be careful of that. I will double check that one though, but I believe Pebbles was first. Okay, fuck me. Yes, very good. Congratulations. Okay, next one. Here we go. Any Australians in the chat? I'll be disappointed if Australians don't get this one. What's the name of the Australian base often dubbed Australia's Area 51? Jerry Holland, I have to give that to you, sir. Even though you did include a couple of rogue characters at the end of your answer, I have to give that to you because you spelt Pine Gap correctly. Nope, your name isn't Pine Gap, your name is Jerry. And you said Pine Gap, therefore you get a mark. You're not from Australia, are you, Jerry? I feel like you're not. I feel like I know that you're not. Very disappointing, guys. Very disappointing. That was answered before I was finished. It was. But so was Peter's. I think some people are... they're just tapped in. They're tapped into the same source. All right, next one. In which... Whoa, okay. This is relevant. In which country did the Rendlesham Forest UFO incident occur in 1980? Which country? Adam Howes. I know, oh, it's a tough one. Rick, you said the UK. I think England is the correct answer there because it was in the country of England. Is the UK considered a country? I don't think it is. Because it consists of countries. So it can't be a country. Someone's saying no, the UK is correct. It's not a country though. So I'm going to go with England. I'm going to have to go with Adam. No, who said England first? Adam House did. Very good, sir. You're on the board. All right, next one. What rare element? I feel like people are going to answer this already. What rare element did Bob Lazar claim powers alien craft? Yeah, Simo, I'll give you that one. Well done. Element 115 is correct. Very good. Okay, here's one. Check your spelling on this one, guys. Don't rush to it. Check your spelling. Which US president allegedly met with aliens at Edwards Air Force Base in 1954? Check your spelling. I will be critical. I need the full name, guys. What's his first name? I want full names. Okay, a lot of people got it without the first name. But I'm gonna have to give it to whoever said it first with the first name, unfortunately. And that is Jerry, once again. You're already on the board, Jerry. So, well done. You now have 2. And you now move up to equal third, sorry. Hello? Very good. Okay. What year did UFOs hover over the White House? (1947) Andrew, congratulations, sir. It was 1952 when UFOs hovered over the White House for 2 weekends in a row, actually. 2 weekends in a row. Great work, sir. Okay. This is another one that I want first and last names. Which physicist who's in the disclosure space was also a Scientologist? Or maybe is also a Scientologist? Oh, the spelling comes in clutch again. The spelling comes in clutch. The first person to spell it correctly was Nathan. Very good, sir. Few people just missing out on the H. Unlucky, but Nathan, where are you? You're on the board already. Very good. You move up a place. We've got a few strong contenders here. And just quickly, James Anthony has thrown in $50. Please, love, and cosmic wonderfulness. James, you're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate. That's a big super chat. The biggest one of the show, actually. In fact, it would be rude of me to not feed the dog. A big treat for that one. So let's just take a quick little intermission. You guys can take breathers, maybe refresh the stream for those of you who are still putting 1947 in the chat. And Suki, I have something for you. Yeah. Oh, I dropped it. Well, I apologize, James. That's from James. I dropped it into Harambe's enclosure, and we are never going to see it again. Oh well. There's that one. Let's continue. Hopefully you've refreshed your streams. You're up to speed. Okay. Now you don't have to type Air Force Base. I just want the name of the Air Force Base that Bob Salas had his nuclear weapons shut down in 1967. No. Yes, Waruna. Damn, you guys letting me down a bit there. Waruna, very good, very good. Taking the lead now on 4 points. The correct answer is Malmstrom Air Force Base. So, like, I got ChatGPT to help me with these questions. So some of them are a bit like they don't really work. So I'm just trying to think of how I can... Okay, here's one. What is the name of the photographic expert, photo analyst, who claims that when working or contracting with NASA, he saw photos of alien bases on the dark side of the moon? What was his name? He testified at the Stephen Greer press conference that we watched recently. No, Simon, his name was not SR-71. The correct answer is Carl Wolf. I was just doing a little spell check there. And that's going to Wool Daddy. Very good, sir. Very good. Obviously a diligent scholar of the channel. Where are you? There you are. All right. Which 1952 incident saw UFOs tracked over the English Channel by NATO jets? This is a hard one. Which 1952 incident? I'll give you guys a hint. It's Operation something. Operation something saw UFOs tracked over the English Channel by NATO jets in 1952. This is probably one that if you Google, you could get the answer. And the correct answer from the relic is Operation Main Brace. Very good. Very, very good. You're not on here yet, are you? No, you're not. You are now. Well done, sir. Great Googling. All right. Now we're getting into the harder questions, if they weren't hard already. This is your chance to do a quick refresh. That's not clear. Desert Storm. Yeah. No, Operation Main Brace. I'd never heard of it. Although I have heard of previous NASA astronaut Gordon Cooper talking about chasing UFOs around like Germany or that sort of area. So I don't know. Maybe they're connected because I think that it was in the 50s as well. Okay. Let's get into the hard questions. What was Project Aquarius allegedly responsible for? You don't have to be perfect with this one. I'm going to take the first sort of vaguely correct answer because it's, you know, there's not like a specific answer. No one's got it yet. Toxic fart, kind of close. Swamp gas. Best answer so far. To repeat the question, what is Project Aquarius allegedly responsible for? All right, I think we're going to move on from this one because we're not getting it. The answers I was looking for were either UFO crash retrieval or UFO reverse engineering. That's okay. No points on that one. This is one that good scholars of the channel should know though. Which whistleblower claimed to have a firefight with tall greys at the Dulce base in New Mexico? Spelling is correct. Spelling is important. to be correct. It was not Baal. Oh, Joe Westfall just came out the gate so hot and heavy, his spelling was a mess. Unlucky, Joe. Perfect Harmony. I can confirm you have spelt that correctly, and that is another point for you. Back to tying first place. Very good. Another one for scholars of the channel. In which US state did Dr. Jonathan Reed claim to encounter an alien in the forest that killed his dog? Which US state did that take place? Scholars of the channel should know this. Oregon's close. Christopher C. is the first one with the correct answer and correctly spelled. It was, in fact, Washington. Very good, sir. All right, we have a full leaderboard now. Now, other people can enter. Actually, if they... Yeah, okay. What I'll have to do is... Just... Yeah. All right, let's continue. What was the name of the school in 1994, Zimbabwe, where a whole bunch of children had a UFO encounter? What was the name of the school? Account used by Mum, formerly Twigend. The longest name, I'm just going to call you account used. That is correct. You won't be visible on the leaderboard, but I've got you here. Very good. Okay. Which US Air Force base allegedly stores Roswell wreckage? Spelling is important. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is the correct answer. And I'm going to give that to Errol Asteroid. Congratulations, sir. You're on the board. Who? Okay. Spelling is important. Who is the Navy engineer behind a 2019 UFO-style propulsion patent? Navy engineer. UFO... It is not 1947, no. And it's not Matt Brown. Jack Trading, very good. It is Salvatore Pais. You are now on the board. Not visible, but I've got you. MacDiv celebrating 1 month as a member, just sneaking into class up the back. Congrats on 40k, Josh. That's okay, sir. Go and take your seat quietly, please. Don't disturb the audience. Who first linked the Anunnaki to human genetic engineering? Spelling is important. First and last name. First and last names required. Spelling is important. Now, give me a second here. Spelling is important. Spelling is important. And I feel like I'm going to absolutely... A lot of people have gotten wrecked here. A lot of people have gotten wrecked here. Zachariah Sitchin is the correct answer. However, his name is not spelled Z-A-C. It is Z-E-C for some reason. And the correct answer for that one goes to Axel F. Congratulations, sir. Quick with it and correct with it. And that's important. Very good. You're not on here already? No, you're not. Okay. Next question. Which 1967 Canadian UFO case left a witness with radiation burns? And I'll give you a hint. The name of this case is like the place that it happened. Kind of like Rendlesham Forest. It's kind of like that. But it may not be a forest. This could definitely be a Googler. Waroona Farm. He's quick with it. He's quick with the Google. Waroona Farm. And he's just solidified his place at the top of the table. Well done, sir. Very good. Okay. Name of a person. So remember, important spelling. What is the name of the British hacker who discovered a non-terrestrial officers list on US networks? The British hacker who discovered a list of non-terrestrial officers. Axel F. He's in it again. He's quick. He's got 2. The correct answer is Gary McKinnon. Congratulations. Let me get you up on the board here. Please say the answers. I think I have been. Zachariah Sitchin, Salvatore Pais. Yep. Okay. Which alleged Navy UFO encounter in 2019 included pyramid-shaped craft? Now, I just want the name of the ship. This is an aircraft carrier. I'll give you a hint. USS what? 2019 encounter with a pyramid. USS what? And the correct answer is the USS Russell, which goes to a lot of people saying Russia. Almost. No, the correct answer is Russell, which I believe was Nathan Beatty, who has just picked up his 3rd point. And what's happened there? Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. His 3rd point, and he's now in 3rd place. Congratulations. All right. What do we got left? Got a few more. Okay, this is a rogue one that even I didn't know about. So we'll see how we go. Which alleged Antarctic discovery claims to show miles-long alien structures under the ice? And if you can just, yeah. I'm not going to be too picky with this one, but if you can if I can tell you have the answer, I'll give it to you. Which alleged Antarctic discovery claims to show miles-long alien structures under the ice? No, high jump was an operation. Bird was a pilot who flew in Operation High Jump. This is this is kind of like an answer that's like Rendlesham Forest or something like that. It's sort of like a place. No, it's not Eric Hecker. I'll give this one 15 seconds. If we get no answers, I'll give it to you and we'll move on. Probably Googleable in that time, to be fair. No, it was not Ross. All right, the answer was Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok ruins. There you go. We all just learned something. Here we go. Next one. Which US black budget project is rumored to develop reverse? Okay, this is not very good. I will reword this question. Which US black budget project is rumored to be an aircraft that's been flying for a long time? It's got a name. It's the name of an aircraft that's been rumored to be flying for a long time. It's not the TR-3B, no. Toxic Fart has entered the chat. Very good, sir. The correct answer is the Aurora. Good stuff. What is the name of the infamous Brazilian, don't get too ahead of yourself, UFO flap of 1977 where locals reported burns and paralysis? Yeah, Jerry Holland, you got ahead of yourself. See, yep, Jack Trading, Wool Daddy, you all did. Look at you. Look at you all. Look at you all. You're falling over yourselves. You were too quick. What's the name of the infamous Brazilian UFO flap of 1977 where locals reported burns and paralysis? The correct answer is Colares. And Andrew, congratulations, sir. That is your second point. The Colares UFO flap is what we were looking for, and you have just moved up to, you've just moved up the leaderboard. Well done. Okay. Now, this is the last one of this section. Probably could have been in the easy section, to be honest. Definitely should have been in the easy section. In fact, okay. Which secretive facility in Utah is associated with skinwalker sightings, portals, and UFOs? What a brain buster. I'm scratching my head. What could it be? Where do skinwalkers appear? Yes. Yep. She's done it, or he's done it. I can't. You looks like a female on your picture, so I'm just gonna go with that. Perfect Harmony has now tied up the ball game. We now have an equal first place. The correct answer is obviously Skinwalker Ranch. However, I'm gonna add in a bonus question here. Where else? What other ranch in Arizona is known to have anomalies of a similar ilk? What is the name of the other ranch in Arizona that seems just like Skinwalker Ranch? No, it is not Coke Watcher Ranch. It is in fact Bradshaw Ranch. Well done, Wool Daddy. Very good, very good. Where are you? That is your third point. And you've moved up the table as well. You're now equal third. Okay, now this round has been set up as like, this is going to be a real quick fire round. However, it can only be as quick as I can add the scores onto the board, but I'll do my best. So again, quick little chance to refresh the stream before we punch out this last round. This is it. We've got 10 questions. If we finish with someone drawing first place, then whoever is drawing is going to go into like a shoot-off for first place, okay? Sudden death. What year did the Pentagon confirm the UAP task force exists? The correct answer is 2020, which is going to Jackie Ann, who I don't think is on the board yet, but well done, Jackie. You now have a point. Okay. I'm going to make my own question out of this, by the way, and I'm going to actually... Okay. Name one of the 3 key whistleblowers from the last UAP hearing? Sorry, there was 4. Name any of them. Just name one. Full name. First and last. Wow, I'm surprised how long that took anybody to get. Okay, the last UAP hearing was Lou Elizondo, Tim Gallaudet, Mike Gold, and Michael Schellenberger. And the first person to get a first and last name correct was Nathan, I believe, with Lou Elizondo, spelt neatly and correctly. Well done, Nathan. Nathan, you could be on here. You could be on to something here. Actually, that just gave you an extra point. Wait, did it? I'm confused. Is that correct? Is that correct? Are you drawing first place now, Nathan? Or have I given you... You've gotten 4? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah. You could be on. You could be on for a late victory here. Yeah. What is the nickname of the alleged alien base? What part... The question is worded poorly. What part of Dulce, New Mexico is it alleged that the alien base is under? What is it called? It's got 2 words. This is in New Mexico, where Phil Schneider had his thing. The Dulce base is meant to be under something. It's got 2 words. First letter is A of the first word. Or Dusty's kind of close. The correct answer goes to Nathan with the Archuleta Mesa. Oh, wait, no. Someone beat him to it. Perfect. Perfect harmony. Too quick. I'm just checking that no one else got it earlier. But yes, the correct answer is the Archuleta Mesa, which I believe we're going to have to give that one to Perfect Harmony. Nice and quick. Well done. You've now solidified first place. We do have a bit of a battle here on our hands. Which alien species is most tied to abduction cases? I got it first twice, but you missed it, Josh. Okay, I'll go back and check that. I'll go back and check that. I'm going to give it to Andrew M. with Gray. Well done, Andrew. That's your first point, I believe, so you're not visible. But we have a bit of a dispute here. We have a bit of a dispute in the last question, so let me go and take a look. Who was the first person to say Archuleta Mesa? I cannot see anyone saying Archuleta Mesa before Perfect Harmony said it. Yep. I think review complete and the point stands. Yep. Yep, the point stands. Next question. Okay, here we go. You have to listen to this question all the way through. Name one of the 4 species listed by Eric Davis publicly recently, except the Greys don't count. It can't be the Greys. Whoa, toxic fart. You said that before I even finished. Was that a guess? I mean, I have to give it to you because that is one. Wait, did he? Well, look, I'll just go off what this says, and yes, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give it to you, sir. Tall whites, you're in. Okay, here we go. This one's relevant. This one's relevant. Which alleged secret project involves staging a fake alien invasion? Project what? He's reading your mind? I think he is. I think he must be. It is Project Bluebeam. Do I be a Nazi and give it to Peter because she spelt it correctly by putting a space between blue and beam? Or do I give it to Joe who said Bluebeam is one word? What do we think, chat? Is Project Bluebeam one word or two? This is rigged. The only rigging is, I think, people having shit ping, unfortunately. Give it to Joe, who said it first. Joe. All right. The jury has mercy, Joe. Congratulations. You are... I don't think you're on here yet, are you? Joe Westfall. I don't think so. Well done, sir. You are now. Probably too late to snatch a win, but maybe a third place. Who knows? All right. Only a few questions left. What year did the mass sighting in Westall, Melbourne occur? What year did the mass sighting in Melbourne, Australia, in Westall occur? Jack trading. Very good. Nice and quick. That is your second point, I believe. The correct answer is 1966. Very, very good. Which... Okay. Some of these questions are worded poorly, so I'm just trying to think of how to say them. Okay, we all know the Go Fast footage, right? The Tic Tac, the gimbal, the Go Fast. Which aircraft carrier, so I want the name of the aircraft carrier, was the Go Fast footage filmed from? Or what aircraft carrier is associated with the Go Fast footage? It is not the Nimitz. Still no correct answers in the chat. It is not the Nimitz. It's not JFK. It's not Lincoln. It's not the Enterprise. What aircraft carrier is associated with the Go Fast footage? Mermaid Moxie, congratulations. Yeah, I don't think anyone else got that before you. The correct answer is the USS Princeton. I answered Josh, look back. Okay, let's take a look. Waruna Farm, calling for a recount. You said the Theodore Roosevelt. Now, unless ChatGPT has it wrong, which it actually could, that's not the answer I have. Apparently, this is how it was worded. Which 2004 Navy case revealed the Go Fast UFO footage? USS Princeton is what I'm going off on ChatGPT. USS Princeton isn't an aircraft carrier. Okay, let's take a look. What is it? Because this could be crucial to your standing. It is an aircraft carrier. If you Google it, the USS Princeton, it looks like it is. So I think I'm going to give that to who got it? Who? Now I can't remember who got it right. Mermaid Moxie. That's it. And you are not on here. Okay, so where are we at? Perfect Harmony coming in first place. Waruna Farm was second. Nathan Beatty in third. And I think that's what I said, didn't I? A top 3? Yeah. If you guys... How can I do this? You know what? If you guys can hit me up on... Where are we? Go onto my X or my Instagram. Instagram is probably the best way. People saying it's Roosevelt. I think even if it is, it's not going to affect the standings. It's not going to affect the standings, I don't think. You guys, Perfect Harmony, Waruna Farm, Nathan Beatty, hit me up either on Instagram or on X, and I will hit you guys up with some discount codes respective to your position. I'll make sure whoever came first gets a big one, and we'll kind of go down from there. But well done, guys. That was fun. I love games. We used to play games like quite a bit on stream. We haven't done it for a while, but I really enjoy them. I think they're a lot of fun. But that pretty much, how long have we been live for? 3 hours. That's kind of what I was going for. So that is perfect. So guys, thank you again. If you haven't already, if you've had fun, please like the video. Go and check out the merch. It's live. It took a lot of work to get there, but we made it. And I hope you guys had a fun stream. I certainly did. I appreciate you all hanging out. The generosity, you guys being here, the love, it's unreal. If you haven't already, join Discord. There should be a link for that below. And I think that's all I really need to say. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else. This week, though, I'm aiming for live streams every day. Now that the merch stuff is like done and not consuming my mental energy, I want to get back in the rhythm of like daily live streams because I enjoy it. And I know you guys like having that kind of like daily check-in point as well. I think it makes all of our days. So again, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If it was the USS Princeton, if it was the USS Roosevelt, you know what? Let's all just remember, it's just a game. It doesn't really matter. And we'll play another one soon. So again, take care, guys. Be good. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night or Sunday, whatever it is. And I will see you on the next stream. Take care.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.